Hey everybody, welcome to another episode once again of the Table Podcast. I am Nick Hand, joined by my brothers from other mothers, and we hope that everybody's doing good. I hope that you've had a great week. Today's going to be a whole lot of fun. Continue to do me a favor, do us a favor, do the world a favor. Man, if you like the podcast, you like what you're hearing, tell your friends about it. Like, subscribe, rate, review, and all that kind of good stuff because it helps spread the word. And that's what we need. I'm thinking about we need some merch.
Yeah.
Thinking merch is really important.
It's merch time.
So we're going to work on that and all that, but I don't know what we're going to put on our merch. What should it be? Probably just...
A table, maybe? I mean,
maybe a table or something, maybe?
maybe some ideas I'm working on.
Just... I'm going to throw this out there, and you can throw it back if you don't like it. Like, it's a little on the edge, but maybe like a table for the Table Podcast. But anyway, hope that you're out there getting yours and being respected. You know what disrespects me? Somebody at the gym disrespected me. You know when people call you like bud or chief or boss?
No.
Dude, there is nothing so disrespectful as you saying. I was at the gym the other day, and I was asking the guy, like, first of all, you know what's funny at the gym? Like, how at the gym, Miguel, you wouldn't know because you don't go to the gym. But, like, when you go to the gym and, like, anytime, like, you're walking up to use a piece of equipment, like, you ask anybody within, like, a 50-yard radius if they're on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hey, psst, you on this? You know what I mean? It's like, nah, dude, I'm clearly over here doing bench press. I'm not on that. You know what I mean? But it's just, like, a respect thing. You on this? No. It's all you, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all you. That's classic response. It's all you.
But he butted you?
No, I was asking because I've just you get gym confidence, you know what I mean? Like once you start being there enough, like I've been there, dude. Like I've been getting my reps in trying to
run this gym.
I've been trying to get my rocks, you know what I mean, for this summer, trying to
belly
get
rocks.
my belly rocks. And so you start getting comfortable and because you know what? I'm carrying a freaking bag in the gym now, dude.
Gosh.
And I got my gallon of water, dude. Like watch out for me,
guy.
dude.
You wearing stringers yet?
Dude, you don't even want to know.
You
All
are,
day
aren't
long.
you?
Yeah, I wear them under a hoodie, but I'm still wearing them. And one day the hoodie's going to come off, dude, and then I'm just going to be there, man. Be there with a stringer so low you can see my rocks. You know what I mean? Like they're summer rocks, my summer stones, man. Just out there, just loaves of bread, man. Just stacked one on top of another, just building a brick house. That's what I'm doing.
12 smooth stones.
12 smooth stones. David, come put this in your slingshot, if you know what I mean. Like that's where I'm at. But when you get the confidence, like not only do you not care and you're not intimidated by all of the gym rats or the meatheads, you just kind of walk in like you own the place. But you know when you're confident in a gym when you're not afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'll walk up to somebody and be like, hey bro, how many more reps you got on this? And then they tell you, and you always say, okay, just want to take your time. That's the thing what you always say, right? So you say, how many reps you got on this? And they say, 2 more. Yeah, no worries, take your time, right? And then you go work something else. But that's what you do. But this guy the other day, I was like, hey bro, how many more reps you got in this? He said, what was that, boss? Oh, boss. Boss, dude.
Did you drop the bag?
No, I didn't. I when you're in public, you gotta hold the respect thing together. But like boss, chief, bud, like, it's funny because it's so disrespectful, but sometimes you got to do it. And sometimes it comes out though too. Like I can't hold it against them because sometimes I'll be like, oh, it's no big deal, bud. And then I realize that I called somebody bud, and then I feel like a hypocrite. It doesn't happen to you.
It's never just flows off the tongue.
Yeah,
I'll get them back though. If you want to
Yeah.
talk to me, I'll pal you.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
thanks,
If you
pal.
pal me, I'll friend you, and you friend me, I'll...
Wait, friend?
Oh, friend.
Yeah,
That's
come
so
on,
fun.
hey,
That's nice.
friend.
How you doing, friend?
Yeah.
That just says walk all over me.
Oh my god.
You know?
No, it's like the older ladies that call you sweetie.
Good to see you,
Oh,
friend.
hate that. Hate that.
You hate that?
Yeah,
That doesn't
I don't
bother me.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't want to be called sweetie. That's
Why?
Weird. That's just weird.
I feel
to
like
me.
that's you don't get it, Miguel. You're on a
No,
that's not
no,
the
no,
conversation.
no, no.
Bud
Yes.
and Bud and
It's-
Sweetie.
It's
those
like
are
it's like a demeaning thing. I think both
Sweetie?
of them are the
Who-
same thing.
how is that the
Yes.
same thing? Sweetie?
Yeah.
Sugar?
It's like,
Is sugar the same thing
yeah,
too?
Yeah.
Why?
All those little nicknames.
Like it takes away your masculinity
Yeah,
or something?
like sweetie. You just
Don't call
me
I ain't your sweetie.
Or hun.
Really?
Like go ahead.
Those
and,
don't bother me. Like hun,
no,
sweetie,
no.
sugar doesn't bother me. And honestly, like if it's the right person saying thanks, Chief. You know what I mean? Like if Alan Autry from In the Heat of the Night is like, thanks, Chief. Like I'm like, yeah, that's right. Like I mean, it pumps me up, dude. But like if it's just like
someone your age,
or if it's like especially like someone like a 17-year-old high school kid, thanks, Chief. No, just get out of here, dude. Just get out of my face and don't ever look at me in the eye again. Like we can't be friends.
You know what I hate?
What?
It's like when you're like, "What's up, man?" And like, "Hey, buddy." Dude,
why?
Hey, I'm being nice to you.
But
you know?
buddy, see, there's something about buddy. Buddy doesn't bother me as much as like, and I honestly, it's probably not the word. It's probably how it's said.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Like when you're like, this is the guy like doing this thing. Like, hey, how many reps you got here? He's like, what was that, boss? You know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, boss. Am I paying your bills? You know what I mean? Like, am I writing your checks, paychecks or something? Like, why am I your boss? But if it's, it's how it's said.
Yeah.
So if you want to disrespect me, just call me bud. If you want to disrespect me, just call me chief. If you want to disrespect me, just call me boss. If you want to disrespect Miguel, just call him sugar. Just call him sweetie. Just call him hun. Okay? Everybody has...
All terms of endearment.
Oh, no. Yeah, but boss is a term of endearment, too. It's
some
like,
people
this
think
person's
so.
elevated.
Some people
that's true.
elevate. Well, I didn't think about it that way. Elevated. What's up, boss? See, that doesn't bother me if it's like that. It's all tone, dude.
Yeah.
It's all tone.
That's what it is.
I think it's all tone. I don't even think it's words. So let's start over this podcast because that was a waste of a segment because really it's not the words, really it's tone. So
wrap it up.
So you can say, hey, what's up, bud? And you say it with the right tone, might give you a hug, might not be mad. But if you say it to me in a disrespectful way, well then it could be.
This is what the table's for.
That's what the table's for. You gotta work it out, man. You gotta
We started one place and we end somewhere else. That's progress, and that's
what you call progress. Mm-hmm. So respect your fellow man. You know what I mean? Eye contact. You think eye contact's important?
Yeah.
Like I've had like people say like you look in the eye and then like when you. But I think that it can't be too long of eye contact because then it gets weird. I think you got to do like give it. You do 10 seconds on, 5 seconds off. 10 seconds on, 5 seconds off. So if I was like, hey, dude, I hope you're doing really well. I'm thinking a lot, but then I got to go. If I'm here, it's almost like 10 seconds almost long, and then 5 seconds off, to think, and then back at it again.
Sometimes you think about it too much, and then you realize I haven't been paying attention to this conversation at all, and I don't know what this person just said because I'm really bad at eye contact, so I have to like force myself to do it. But then I do that. Am I staring too long? How am I looking at them? Do I need to look away for a little bit? Do I need to look back? And then I'm like, I just missed so much information that this person was talking about.
You know who doesn't do good eye contact? Is Taylor Burgess. He doesn't do good eye contact.
Yeah.
He always...
It's our generation.
How about the people that laugh and keep eye contact? Like
oh.
I think that's fun, though. That's fun for me. I love it.
It's fun, but like that's not natural for everybody. Most people was like,
no,
like but that's why you're like, what's weird about this?
It makes
you're staring at me.
Yeah, when you look in my eyes and laugh, it makes me laugh harder. Like it fires up my laugh. You know what's weird about eye contact is it's impossible to look someone in the eye. Like you're picking one, dude. You're not looking in both. You're either looking at the bridge of my nose, my eyebrow, you're looking at my bottom eyelid, but you're looking at my left eye, my right eye, but you're not looking at both eyes. Yeah. You're trying. It's literally impossible. So when you say, look me in the eye, like, which one, dude? Which one do you want me to look you in, sir? Like, eye contact is such a weird thing because if you're making eye contact, which one are you looking at?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, have you thought about that? Taylor's mind is blown right now, dude. That's why he doesn't even look in the eye because it's just too much. It's too many decisions to make, dude. Mm-hmm. Which eyeball do I look at, dude? Is it the right or the left? Do I pick a brow? Do I pick the nose? Do I pick the nose? Do I pick the nose or do I not pick the nose?
Oh no.
Anyway, anything else?
No.
Any plans for Memorial Day coming up?
No, man. I'm just trying to be American. You know what I mean? Remember the fallen. Memorial Day is a good holiday, but I think everybody should remember more. You know what I mean? But let's not get serious yet. I'm just getting serious way too fast. You better remember on Memorial Day how you guys got here. Yeah. You know, and don't just fly your flag unless you're gonna remember. Mm-hmm. Remember. Do you know who Betsy Ross is?
The person that made the flag, yeah.
Drew almost got. He almost said,
"I got you. I got you."
I was actually going to talk about that. I was going to say, well, I remember that she.
I remember in 1776 when. Oh man! I first thought you said Betsy DeVos, and I was like, "What does that have to do with this?"
I don't know. Who is that?
That's the person that oversees all like the schooling and stuff in the
Betsy DeVos.
Yeah.
Who?
You don't know who Betsy DeVos is?
No, but I don't know who that is.
Oh, okay,
No.
sweetie.
It's okay, Chief. It's okay, Chief. I don't know.
Listen, pal.
Anyway, on the podcast today, a buddy of mine, Austin Arriola, and he is a legend in my eyes, and everybody's a legend that is on this podcast. It's like legends only, dude. That's the criteria to be on the podcast is you got to be a legend. You don't get on the podcast. Okay, so if you're not a legend, don't apply. We take applications, but most of them get denied because they're not legends. Yeah. But Austin is a legend. He comes from the bodybuilding community. He does a lot of cool stuff. I want just in case you haven't, you may have to come back and listen to this at the end of the podcast. But if you want to get in touch with Austin, he actually has his own pre-workout. For those of you that are into pre-workout?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It helps, dude. And he has one called Off the Leash. Do you have the is there an Instagram for that?
At Off the Leash.
At Off the Leash pre-workout. Make sure you get that. Try it out. Post on Instagram on your social media accounts and let the world know. It's a great pre-workout. And sometimes pre-workouts, man, it's tough to find a good one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That you like and stuff. So I suggest trying it out. He's also an athlete for Iron Bullies, which you can look up on his Instagram, which is @2aesthetic_, which is @2aesthetic_. That's Austin's Instagram. And then you could also follow his new project that he has, Absolute Aesthetics, which is just like you think it would be Absolute Aesthetics _, and get information on training, dieting, contest prep, posing, all those kinds of things. It's really cool. He comes from a different world, and but you find out, and that's the cool thing about this podcast. I talk about it all the time. It doesn't matter what world you come from, what industry you come from. We're all trying to figure out the same things, and dealing with the same things. And a lot of the conversation was super inspiring, especially because I'm trying to get rocks by summer. You know what I mean? Trying to get rocks by summer. And so I know you're going to enjoy the podcast. Austin's a great guy, has a lot of great things to say. Every time we approach the table, we approach it with minds open, ready to listen and to learn. And I know you're going to take away a lot from it. Anything else to say, boys?
No.
That's it?
Right.
All right, Chief. All right, boss.
Stop.
Love you, bud. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Austin Arriola.
First the barricade, now the table.
Do you consider yourself a bodybuilder?
I mean,
you're no doubt a bodybuilder.
yeah.
I would.
Well, I'm injured right now, so don't judge me off
That's
my
such
physique
a
right
dude.
now.
That's such a
but-
bodybuilder thing to say.
Yeah, I know.
I'm injured right now, so
Yeah.
I'm not like.
Yeah, no, I actually, it's crazy. This is like my first, like serious injury since I started. I feel like I started getting into bodybuilding at like 16.
Yeah.
I'll be 23 this year, so that's almost 7 years with no injury. I tore my pec.
Which is a good run.
I
Is
think
it considered a good run?
Yeah, I think most people give up on it. Like most people are more like, I don't know. They just whether they lose like the passion for it or they weren't doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
They didn't do it for themselves. Like they just stop. And so for me, I don't know. It's just I enjoy it. Like I don't even really like the competitive side of it is cool because I am competitive and I do like the sport, but it's not something I'm like passionate about. I'm passionate about the lifestyle. I'm passionate about training, the eating, the cardio.
So what does that
everything.
mean though? Because I hear people say, it's a lifestyle. In any industry, like that's the thing, right? Like you can't just do it. It's a lifestyle. Which basically, to me, I would interpret that as you got to put 100% into whatever it is that you're doing, right? Like that's the lifestyle portion
Yeah.
for you. When you say it's a lifestyle, what part of it is the lifestyle for you?
I think just the whole aspect of it. Like I think a lot of people only live the lifestyle because they want to post on Instagram or because they want to be like, oh, he's jacked or oh, look, like they want this attention. And to me, I've never done it for that. Like, I mean, I tell people all the time when I got into working out, I was a junior in high school and like it wasn't cool to work out. If you had to play sports and like if you were working out like, oh, dude, you're weird. Like, you know, so I never did it for that. It was more just something I enjoyed. My dad kind of got me into it. And then I would say with like the lifestyle part, it's more of just like, you can't fake it. Like that's the cool thing with bodybuilding. Like you don't fake eating 6-7 times a day. You don't fake squatting, 500 pounds. You don't, you know what I mean? Like you work up to that and you do it. So I think too many people just do it for the wrong reasons. And that's why you see a lot of these competitors like, they compete and then they're done with it. And to me, I have nothing against competing, but I just know that like there is no like winning a show is not going to bring you any type of revenue. It's not going to bring you. I mean, it might get you some type of like what's it called? Like you might get noticed somewhere.
So there's not money in that? There's not money in that
There
industry,
is,
really?
but it's minuscule. Like it's not worth it. Like
it's not through the actual competitions. It would be
no,
more,
like say, I mean, you compete as an amateur, right? And
Yeah.
then say you end up turning pro, which is very like hard. I mean, I think from Fresno, there's like only like 3 or 4 people that have turned pro, like ever, you know? So it's not like a common thing.
Yeah.
And, with doing that, you then compete in these shows and they have prize money. But I mean, you're standing up against these freaks and, even if you put the Olympia into perspective, right?
Yeah.
The biggest like bodybuilding show out there, and you're the open class, the biggest class. The winner gets $250,000, which is a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
But then say someone like me who does not want to be 300 pounds of muscle, and that's just not like, that's not what I aspire to be.
Yeah.
So I compete in the classic physique division or the men's physique division or whatever. They're making like 10,000 for the winner.
So it's not
I mean,
in comparison.
you're not gonna live on $10,000. Come on now,
How do you draw the lines though between like what is the difference between like you talk about what you want to be versus like the big muscled out like
it's
machines?
It's just a different look. Like, I mean, first of all, most of us don't even have the genetics to like look like that.
How
Like,
much of it is genetics though?
all of it.
All of it's genetics?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's all of everything. It's all training. It's all diet. It's all because there's a certain point where like I can train 110%. My diet can be perfect. My supplements can be perfect. My rest, my lifestyle can be real laid back, not stressful. But there could be another dude who just has like, I mean, I know like you guys went to those dudes, or you went to high school with those dudes that you see them, they take their shirt off in the locker room and they're just shredded.
Yeah.
And you're like, bro,
Yeah.
like, how do you like that?
Right,
But that's
right.
just genetics. I
Yeah.
mean, genetics is everything. Think of basketball. Like if you and I go and try and play in the NBA,
Right.
there's
It's not gonna
it's not going to happen. But if I was born 7'4", like I probably have a good chance playing in the NBA,
Yeah.
So even when you look at other pro sports, like you look at Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, both of them are quarterbacks. Their dad was a quarterback. You look at John Jones, he's a top MMA fighter. Both his brothers in the NFL. Like, as much as people hate to say it, it is definitely genetics isn't going to get you anywhere. You still have to have the work ethic and the drive and the determination and the mindset. But to access that, you do need the genetics. And I'm very realistic with myself. Like, I don't think I have, as far as bodybuilding goes, like my height is right. Like a lot of those open dudes, they're 5'6" to 5'9". So I'm like right in between there. I'm not tall, but I'm not one of those freaks. Like if you don't look crazy after like 6 months of just working out, then you probably don't have the genetics to be
that exactly like that.
It's like, I mean, I've just seen it, dude. Like I know, like I can point out certain guys in the gym, and I know.
That's regardless if people are doing it natural or not. Like it,
100%.
because it's the foundation.
100%. Because even if they're not doing it natural, for instance, like if you put them on an even playing field, they're both training as hard as they can. They both have the perfect diet. They're both taking the same things. They're on the same even playing field. What's going to separate them? Their genetics.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
really
that's
is.
what's kind of silly about bodybuilding when you really think about it. Like, I don't even really, I mean, it's a sport, but it's very like, it's subjective. And that's why when I get irritated with like these people that go on Instagram and they post, like, oh, I got robbed. I should have won. Like you are
all the time whenever they don't win.
every single time when they don't win. That's everyone. We're all salty, right? But the thing is like you're letting someone tell you, hey, you're better because of this. Like you didn't perform, you didn't lift a certain weight where it's like, yes, I did it or I didn't do it. Or you didn't get, you didn't box someone and either you got knocked out or you knocked him out. Like you're letting someone tell you they're better. So to me, like, are you really going to be that upset about it? I think people they just take it too serious. Like I see these guys in the gym that are all like, they can't even smile because they think it's going to make them look less buff. And I'm like, bro, like, what is your issue? You know what I mean? Like if I see someone that's jacked, I'm the first one to tell them like, bro, you look sick. Like, cause to me, I know what goes into that. I know how hard it is. And I just respect that,
It's tough because I think people allow what they're passionate about. They allow it to become the thing that makes them significant. And I think that's the challenge. You look at, you talk about living the lifestyle. I tell people a lot of times, like if it's, and you could talk about, whether it be physique in the world of physique, you have the foundation, which would be your genetics. I think, in every other industry, there's some sort of foundation that you start with, and that's kind of how you cut your teeth. It's kind of how you figure out what am I supposed to be doing with my life? Well, it's almost like somehow, some way, we're clawing and scratching to find what is that thing that I have that kind of is my foundation that I can build upon. You know what I mean? And I think that that's part of the great quest in life, but then the challenge is to keep that separate from your significance, like your passion. I mean, to me, I think about, you talk about living the lifestyle, I think about an artist. An artist can be working a 9 to 5 and maybe haven't had their big break yet, but if it's 12 a.m., they're going to get out a paintbrush and start painting or start drawing because it's what they're passionate about.
Exactly.
It's their thing. And I think that the dangerous part is when you allow people's opinion to start taking place in your actual passion to determine whether it's significant or not.
And I think you're 100% right with that, because then these people get down on themselves with getting on stage and someone saying, oh, you weren't shredded enough, or you didn't have enough this, or you weren't big enough, or whatever. Like, to me, it's like, the end of the day, when you really look at like this as a grand scheme of things, if I walk into the gym, even if I am out in public, most people are looking at me like, dang, dude, like, you look really good. 99% of the world is like, wow, you're jacked. There might be 1% that's in that community that's like, oh, you might not look the freakiest of the freaks. But I mean, what is the point of that at the end of the day? Like, if there's no like, end goal, or there's no, you're not making a career out of it. And that's what I've tried to steer away from. Like, so many people, I haven't competed since I was 18. So that's almost 5 years. And people are like, when are you going to compete? When are you going to compete? And I do want to, but I also have priorities, man. And like, I think that too many people, they get everything twisted, and it's like, it's okay to still, I mean, you look at all these YouTubers, all these people that are making a living doing something they enjoy. And I think with bodybuilding, you can do that, but you have to be marketable. You have to be personable. You have to know what people are looking for. And you can't be so like insecure with things. I think a lot of people, or bodybuilding stems from insecurity, because you get into working out because you don't like the way you look, or you feel weak, or whatever it is. You're trying to get girls. I don't know what it is, but it's some type of insecurity. So then you end up getting bigger and you start getting this attention and you let it get to your head. And to me, I've tried to diffuse that, because it's not that serious. Like, you're working out. Like, when you see these guys like yelling and screaming and stuff, it's like, dude, you're in the gym. Like, you're not hard or something. Like, it doesn't prove anything.
The gym grunters, dude.
Oh, dude.
The loud ones. I've done it sometimes, but just because it's fun.
Yeah, or because like you're like, if you're really trying and like and you do it, it's different. But when you're just like with the 1500 number, like,
hey, have you seen that dude that goes like the loud grunting in the gyms? It's like a joke video. Have you seen it? Have you seen that?
No, is it like a...
Who is it? Is it like Vitaly, or is it Nelk Boys? Dude, dude, it's so funny. They go, see if you can pull it up. We'll watch in a second.
It's like at Planet Fitness or something.
And then they're like the loudest grunts possible and see what the guys around them do. Yeah. But I think about that a lot. I think that what's weird about, and I want to talk about this some, but I think what's weird about being human is somehow, some way, we allow what people think to matter so much to the point that it ends up dictating our path and our journey. We start out because we love it, and then we only stay in it if they love us. You know what's so weird about that? Like,
you want acceptance or something.
Yeah, like I think about musicians. I think, and especially in worlds that there isn't, and this is something I talk about in this podcast a lot, that there's not a natural trajectory to success. So I want to be a lawyer. I go to law school. I intern somewhere. I start my own practice. I maybe work with somebody, and eventually there's a prescribed path to that success. Well, to be a bodybuilder, to be in the arts, to be a musician, to be a rapper, to be someone who's in, running a clothing line. We don't take those people as seriously. And the challenge with that is you're already trying to figure out, does this matter? Because it seems like the world doesn't take me seriously, and it seems like nobody takes what I'm doing seriously. Get a real job, do something with your life, and then you start on this journey, and it's like, I start because I think I can do it. I'm passionate about it, and I love it. But then all of a sudden, dude, you cross that threshold where it's like, well, if they don't love me, then I guess I don't love it anymore.
And I think that's where self-belief is like the biggest thing. Like, you have to have self-belief in yourself and what it is that you do, because no matter what you do, man, you're never going to get, like, I can't stand when people, like, they just want you to thumbs up them. Like, go do it. Because to me, if you come to me today and you tell me, hey, man, I have this idea, I want to do this, I'm going to tell you, do it.
Yeah.
And if you do it, I'm going to support you, because to me, like, that it takes enough to just go out and execute on an idea you had. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It is what it is. But I think so many people are scared, and because they're so I think people, it's been ingrained in our heads, like you have to go to school, it's like this certain thing you have to do. But I mean, I even see these people graduating from school and I'm like, what's your plan? I don't really know, man. Like they're still confused, they're still lost. And to me, I felt like when I was in high school, I didn't know what it was that I wanted to do. Like I felt very like, well, I don't want to go to school, I don't like this. And let's be real, no one likes school, you know? But I didn't see, okay, well, I'm into fitness, I'm gonna go for kinesiology. Like I don't really see like, what am I gonna do after that? Like what's a job that I could do, you know? And so I think people don't believe that you can make money doing something that you enjoy. But it is real. Like we're in 2019, bro. Like there's so much opportunity. You have like, I mean, who would have thought like Uber Eats was a thing? Who would have thought like that people are making YouTube videos getting paid? Like, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't really watch TV. If I'm gonna watch something, I pull up YouTube and I'm looking something up. Like these people are getting paid like real money, you know? But for whatever reason, it's like, it's not serious, man. Like it's not, you don't work 9 to 5. Like you don't have a retirement. Like what's retirement, bro? Like I hear so many people, like these older adults, like, you know, saying, oh yeah, just 8 more years, and then I'm done. And it's like, you sound like you're in a sentence, like in prison or something. Like 8 more years, like, bro, you're wasting time. Like you can do something. I mean, obviously you have to make some type of income and have some type of capital to do whatever it is you want to do. But if you're willing to hustle, you're willing to work. I mean, you just have to go after it and not listen to too many opinions. People take all these opinions in, and it's like, what matters is yours. You need to have a small circle of people that you know will check you when they need to check you, of people you trust, and go from there, you know?
Yeah, I think it's the, you know, it's like my last conversation with Jizzo, he was talking about how nobody's ever rode their comfort zone to success, you know? And,
and he's
I think
right.
Whatever your definition of success is, I mean, I think some people, they don't want their name in lights. They're not looking to make they just want, you know, they want a family, they want to have a sense of fulfillment. But I do think that a lot of that somehow connects to trying to go after something and figuring out, you know, why you're here, what you're passionate about, and sticking to that, not allowing your perspective to be diminished by the perspective of those around you. And that's always the challenge, because and here's the thing, I was talking about this recently, how, you know, you can go to people for all the advice in the world, and I think that you need that. Like, you need wisdom. You need people that can say, hey, here's what I've learned from my journey. But you also, at the end of that conversation, have to remember that their decisions got them to their destination.
Are you trying to get there?
Yeah. Is that the destination you want? If your destination is different, you might have to do some different things, you know?
And I think, you know, going off of that's where so many people, when they ask for an opinion, it's like, look who you're going to, though. I mean, if you're a musician or whatever, and you want to make money doing music, are you going to go to someone who's about to retire, that's worked 25 years of their life for a company? Like, no, they don't have what it is that you want. So you need to go talk to people that do have what you want and learn how you can get there and pull from. I mean, I'm not saying you can't pull from everybody, because I think you can always take advice and stuff from whoever it is, but you definitely have to know what to take in and what to not let penetrate your mind, because it's a scary thing when you let those thoughts, you know. I mean, I'm very passionate about this, because that, like, you know, with making my own pre-workout or whatever, like, I knew people were not gonna like want to support it, or I knew that they would feel some type of way, like, oh, who do you think you are? But it's not even that, man. Like, to me, I'm more trying to build a community. Like, I want people here to feel a part of something. Like, nothing comes out of Fresno, man. Like, when you really think about it, like, you think of LA and they have certain people, you think of Sacramento, you think of the Bay Area, like Fresno almost has 1 million people in it. Like, we're definitely something, but it's the only way you're going to make it is if your city really puts you on and is behind you, because they're the ones that are going to push you out and turn you into something, you know. And I think that too many people have like just a bad idea of how business works. Like, people ask me all the time, like, oh, bro, I see everyone posting about your pre-workout. Like, I see you doing things. Like, how much money are you making? And I'm like, bro, it's not about that. Like, any money that has came in.
But see, doesn't that show you just how low level thinking we have as humans?
It's bizarre, bro. Right? I'm like, dude, whatever money has came in, it goes right back into it. Like, because at the end of the day, I could sit here and say, like, what if in, let's say, 1 year we gross $200,000? What is $200,000 in the grand scheme of things? It's nothing. Yeah. You know, it's really, you might think it's a lot of money because you have 200,000, but like, that's not going to get, you have to do something with that 200,000. Like, I mean, even if you want to protect yourself in court, you need millions of dollars to do that. So why are you thinking so little? And not only that, like, Why is your goal, you know, I want to make money so I can buy a nice car. Like, I want to make money so I can have this big house or this nice watch. Or I think all of that stuff is so, like, just weird. Like, I think people go through their phases, but I think people need to think more broad. Like, wouldn't you rather use that money to open up a business to employ people that don't necessarily have an out, that maybe didn't grow up the best, and you can give them some type of position, and you literally change their life, man, because it's like, look, I can pay you to do this, and you can now feed your family or something. Like, to me, that's more fulfillment than, oh, look at my dope car, because I can pull up in a Lambo, and you're going to be like, oh, that's sick, but do you really care? No. Like, it doesn't change your reality, so it's really it's only self-fulfilling to me, but...
I think it's a way, I think in our world, I think people hide behind that and say that's success, even though the reality is we all know it's not. I mean, you look at people that have all the money in the world, and sometimes those are the people are the most unfulfilled people in the world. That's why I think that it's interesting to me that in our society, in our world, that's been the litmus test of like, are you successful? Like, are you really doing it? And I think we miss out on, it's going to go back to what you were saying earlier. I think that we need to be better at celebrating the try. I think we celebrate when things work, but I think that celebrate the try, dude. The fact that you had the courage to go for it when everybody else is sitting working for everybody else's dream, like the fact that you had the courage to say, you know what, I think just maybe, and you stepped out and did something, like hats off to you. Like, I think that guy needs to be celebrated just as much,
as
if
the
not
person
more.
who made it. You know?
Well, because I mean, think about every success story. I don't remember the exact stats, but whether it be like the Starbucks guy or Walt Disney were some of the ones that I heard recently, and they were talking about the number, like the thousands of times that they were turned down for funding or turned down for like, hey, would you get behind this dream? No. But the fact that they had the tenacity to say, you know what, I'm going to keep going anyway. I'm going to keep trying anyway. And it really, you have to be willing to shut out the outside voices and go for it, and realize that it takes time. Like, it really does take time.
It's not overnight, and it takes work. Like, I think too many people have this idea of, oh, I'm gonna have a business, or, you know, be an entrepreneur, or whatever it is, be self-made, because I don't want to work a 9 to 5. Like, it's not that you don't want to work a 9 to 5. It's that you don't want to limit yourself to 8 hours of work a day. You want to work around the clock. You know, because the most successful people, like, I use Christian Guzman in the fitness industry a lot, because this dude, like, you can tell in his videos, he does not sleep. Like, this guy is constantly working, but he knows that that's what it takes to get where he needs to get. Like, things don't just happen accidentally. Like, you definitely have to put them into play and execute on those ideas, and like I said, just be persistent with it.
But I think that that's also probably why the reason you're doing it matters, right? Like, so when we started this conversation, you said it's a lifestyle. And I said, define that. And you got into like passion and like talking about, because if your goal, I feel like if your goal is money, if your goal is fame, if your goal is followers, you won't have what you need to stick it out through the hard times. It's got to be about more than that. It's got to be.
Not only that, it's just, that's not a long-term like way of thinking. Like, I could sit here and make a pre-workout, for instance, right? And put half of what I put in it, and my margins be better. But is it going to do what it's supposed to do? No.
Right.
But I might flip 1,000 of those and make double the money I would have made initially. Yeah. But what's the point of that? You know, and you're going to lose people's respect. Like, I mean, if you're just a good person at the end of the day, I think if you're a good person and you try and do right, things are going to come your way. Like, I believe in stuff like that. You know, it's all about the energy you put out. And too many people, I think, are putting out this fake energy or this negative energy, like you said, to people that are trying. Like, I know my business partner, for instance, like, you know, I consider him a brother to me. Like, a lot of the things that he's told me and that he's gone through, I can respect, because it's like, it's not easy, man. Like, his first run of shirts, like, spent a couple $1,000s and had to give them away because he ordered them from some site and the sizing was all off and nobody wanted them. So imagine, like, your first couple $1,000s, like, damn. Yeah, I got to get rid of this. Right. But people want to make one shirt and think they're going to make 5,000 off it, and
if you don't make it, then it's over. I guess you weren't supposed to do that.
No, it's trial and error, man. There's going to be obstacles. Like, you don't become great at anything by not failing a lot. You're going to fail. You're going to fail a lot more than you win. That's why I tell people, set yourself up for little wins. Have these little goals, because a bunch of little wins will lead to a bigger picture. You know, I mean, I
think we look though at, you know, especially in our world, because we're so inundated with everybody else's lives, not just in a way where it is celebrity or status, but everyday people, you know, well, what we see as everyday people through social media, through YouTube. And so there's this constant, you know, comparison trap of, well, I want that. I want to travel the world and not have to have a job and just make money. Or, you know, I get baited into the fantasy rather than realizing what got those people there was being true to their passion and not being ignorant. Like, I think sometimes I realize the more I have conversations with people, how most people just don't think on a high level. Like you don't think into what you're thinking about. Like if we just take a look around out this window, you see trees, you see birds, you see, the thing in common about all of these things in reproduction, there's an incubation process. This tree started as a seed. The seed had to be watered. Over time, it grew into what we see.
It is, yeah.
You see birds that there's a seed that had to be planted, an incubation process. An egg had to be laid. Then it had to go through the process of becoming. If you just look at the world around you, like if you just stop and you realize that everything has a process, and it never happens as quick as you want it to happen, and it's not going to be the same for you. Like you have to figure out what is the seed, quote unquote, that I'm going to nurture in my life. What is the passion or the thing that I want to do that's going to get me there, and then being willing to like stick to it, not because of the end game, but because of
it's what you enjoy.
It's what I want.
I think at the end of the day, though, a lot of that comes down to whether it's parenting or going through school and our teachers. I think a lot of them don't teach us that. Like they don't teach us to think for ourselves. Yeah. Like why is it when we go to school that we all study the same things and I get that there's basic criteria we need to know, but why not ask these kids, what is it that you're interested in? What is it that you like? You know, are you into nature? Are you into music? Are you into sports? Like, let's figure this out. Okay. And let's divide them up and figure out what it is they want to do. Because I know for me, I was confused. I didn't know what I want to do. And I see so many people that are out of college or that are adults, you know, late 20s, early 30s, and they're still confused. And that's my biggest fear, is to be in the same spot I'm in right now. Yeah. Like, I want to continually grow. And I think people they're lost in life. They don't know, do I go to school? Because they're getting so many conflicting opinions on what to do versus just, what is it that you enjoy? If there's something that you enjoy, who cares? I think people are just scared, man. They're not fearless.
Well, you get thrown into a system and then you just conform. And that's what I'm saying about like the ignorance. I don't know if ignorance is the right word, but it's like you just fall into place because this is what we do. You do this and then you do that and then you go to school and then you go to college and after college and then you retire and then you sit and do nothing and then you die. Like that's
terrible, bro.
That's horrible. Like, it's absolutely horrible.
That's why, going back to like me saying the whole retiring thing, like what is that? Like you know how bored you're gonna be once you retire? Like you think like you're gonna live off this pension and just, oh, I'm just going to chill. Like, bro, I can't chill for 2 days. I'm like, I got to do something. Like,
well, I forget what the stats are, but I mean, like, people who retire and do nothing, I mean, like, the stats of even their lifespan shortens. Like,
oh, I believe it, yeah.
It's crazy. And I think what it comes down to more, the challenge about a retirement mentality, people see that as that's when I hang up the boots. And I think that, you know, you may need to retire and collect your, you know, your pension or whatever, but you got to have something that you're still passionate and working on. Or, you know, don't retire and stop working or stop doing.
You're just gonna lay around and watch TV.
Yeah, like do something.
Yeah.
I think people though, that's part of the culture. Like, you know, you start getting into your 50s, your 60s, and you start thinking, well, I'm an old guy now. It's like, dude, you're 50 or 60. Like, you're not, you have so much, and you see these guys that are 50, 60, 70. I mean, you look at our president and like, hate him, love him, whatever. I don't care, but drive, like doing something with himself, like in the season of his life that he's in.
When you have that much money, like why? Why?
Yeah, you don't need to, right? Like you don't, but the fact that you're still doing something, like to me, if anything, it should be like, political preferences aside, just like inspiration to say, I don't have to be getting old just because the number on my, you know, the number of years I've existed is getting up there. I think as long as you have breath in your lungs and blood in your veins, man, you go after something.
You keep going, yeah.
Like do something, you know. But back to what we're talking about, you know, just kind of fitting into the mold. I think that that's true, you know, even within, you talked about school systems and the way that we're taught. The thing that I see Americans do all the time is, and this is a whole nother conversation, but we're so addicted to comfort. We're so addicted to just wanting to be comfortable that I think that we find things that work and then we never reevaluate them. We're like, we solved that problem, on to the next, like comfort. And the problem is, things that were at one point a tool for success then become a template that ultimately leads you to destruction. So at one point,
you have to innovate.
Yeah. So at one point it was a tool to solve a problem. Now we're doing it just because we don't know why we're doing it. You know, when somebody started the education system, there was probably a problem that it was solving. There was probably some sort, you know, our kids aren't learning. Nobody's doing anything. Everybody's teaching. So these guys need to know basic stuff so that they can kind of have a platform to put their lives together. Well, that evolves and that changes. What that means is dependent upon the society that you live in, right? Like the stuff that we need to know that we would say is basic knowledge is going to change as the world changes and as the world evolves. So if we're still using, again, something that was once a tool, it's now become a template. I think we have to evaluate, is it productive? Because what I see is people who don't feel, and again, to go back to the artists, to go back to the people that are into physique training or things that are outside of, you know, the common sphere of acceptance. What I see in a lot of those people, when they don't fit in, they strive to find a place to fit in, and when they do, the sad part about it is they do that for all the wrong reasons, and then they live their lives with a chip on their shoulder of, I never belong, so now I got to prove it to the world, and I got to show everybody what I got. To me, which is as equally of a negative as a motivator, because you're still not doing it because you're passionate about it or because it's the reason that your 2 feet are placed on this planet. You're doing it because of what you think. I got to show you because you didn't love me and you didn't accept me.
Like, because at the end of the day, like, once again, if you tell me right now, like, or if I think, oh, Nick thinks I have to be jacked, right? And he's not going to like me if I'm not jacked. I need to do this. Like, bro, you're not losing sleep at the end. Like, you go home, you're not thinking past this. Like, you're not, is Austin, you know, taking his protein shake? Is he at the gym tonight? Like, no one really cares. But, like, you're not that important, you know? I think people are so wrapped up in what it is that they do. And I think it's just crazy to me, man, because people don't realize how fortunate we are, like, to be here in America and to be able to determine our outcome. Like, you know, going back to talking about before we were on here about, you know, my friends Tan and Prab, for instance, they lived in India for 2 years, and they were telling me how when they went back there and they lived there, that you don't choose if you're low class, middle class, high class. You just get put in that, and that's what you are for the rest of your life. And that's just how it is. You have no say.
By
in it.
what? They just by society structure.
Just what you are, what you're born as. That's what you stay as. You don't choose what you do. Like, that's how
by
it is.
the family that you come from.
They told me how, like, just how, you know, women are treated differently out there. How there's no structure. Like, there's not even roads. There's like cows in the middle of the roads, and like teachers hitting the kids. Like it's crazy, and we don't have any of that there. But we live or any of that here, and we live in such a bubble that we think like that we don't have it good when we really do. Like, there's so much opportunity here, man. People are just lazy. Like, once again, I mean, if you know, if 20 years ago someone said, hey, you can make money doing a podcast. Like, what? To hear people talk? Like, that's crazy.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you can, you know, but the thing is all it takes is to believe in yourself. I look at Jeff Bezos with Amazon, and it's like, bro, he's going to put UPS out of business. He's going to put the postal service out of business. Like, this dude's innovating. You know what I mean? And that's how more people need to think. Like, you really have to, because whatever it is you do, even if you have a certain career that you're doing, that might not be forever. Like, fitness might not be a forever thing. That might die off, and there might be some new innovation where we don't have to work out. And so there's no point of trainers. So what else is it that you have? What other assets do you provide, you know? But people don't think about those things. That's why I try not to get stuck in one thing. I want to do so many different things, so I always have outlets to go to, you know. And that's why I think with bodybuilding I love, because it's, you know, disciplined me, and it's taught me a lot as far as hard work and what goes into things. And, you know, the more you put in, the more you get out. But it can be a super, like, toxic mindset, you know, because you see these guys that, I mean, I see these dudes in their late 30s, early 40s, like, still competing. And I'm like, but for what, man? Like, you have a family, you have other things going on. Like enjoy that, you know? Like, I don't know. It's just not, like, what are you doing it for? Unless it's just for you and because you truly enjoy it, then by all means do it. But if you think, oh, I'm going to be the best bodybuilder ever. Like, bro, I'm sorry, we all, when we get into lifting, think we're going to be the best bodybuilder. I watched all the Arnold videos and was like, don't let the naysayers tell you anything. And then I'm like, bro, I'm like, still not there. Like, it's been 7 years. What's going on? You know? So
I think it's funny, though, because that's part of, in some ways, that's part of the human journey and human experience. I think the more conversation I have with people, the more compassion I have for them, because I realize I'm just as passionate about my opinions as the next person, but that doesn't make me right.
No.
And I think that we're silly to think, it's super, super silly to think that, you know, people are just going to stop talking bad or people are going to stop doubting, because I think that's part of humanity. Like,
That's just human nature.
that's human nature. Like, I could have my opinions about things that you're doing. You could have your opinions at things that I'm doing. But at the end of the day, you're still responsible for your life. I'm still responsible for my life. And I think that that's why to think, you know, to get mad even about someone's opinion is so
It's ridiculous.
It's so small-minded. Like, they're entitled. Don't you have those? You know,
Like, you're really going to be bothered about that. Like, that's why I think of it as, if someone works a 9 to 5, by all means, like, do you. I'm not hating on what you do. I just am telling you that's not what's for me. And that's not what I want to do.
And that should be okay, right?
Exactly, and 100%. Like, and if you don't agree with what I do, then fine, but respect what it is that I am doing, and don't say, "Oh, you need to get a real job. You need to do what I'm doing." People, that's always what it is, and it's crazy. Even like, I mean, I'm sure you get it with having tattoos and stuff. Like, oh, well, how are they going to look when they're old? Why do you care? It's my body. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is it to you? It does not affect your reality at all. This is who I am. You know, too many people are scared to express themselves and really be who they want to be. I think people build up this wall of like protecting themselves and who they really are. Because if you know, I mean, I feel like, you know, for instance, like me just being in the bodybuilding realm, like having these tattoos, my nose pierced, like, you know, whatever, people probably think of me a certain way, like, oh, bro, that's not manly. Yeah. But like, to me, I don't care. Yeah. Like, it's me, you know, that's who I am. Like, if you're gonna dislike me for that, it doesn't bother me. My own parents can not agree with what I'm doing, and it's not their life, it's my life.
And that's an important thing too, because a lot of times it's the people that are closest to you or that you have trusted the most or have had the most influence in your life that a lot of times can be the voices that keep you from going for the things that are in your heart to do. And I feel like that's why I say, like, you have to understand human intention. Everybody thinks they're right and everybody means well, and that's okay, but you can't live your life by that.
Yeah, you can't live your life to impress others or to get the okay from others. Because obviously, if I sit here, you and I are like, hey, we have this idea, let's do this business, let's put all our money into it, boom, let's do it, let's not go to school, whatever. If we go to our parents and say, hey, we're not going to go to school and do this, of course our parents want us to be comfortable. They want us to have an education. They want us to get a steady job and have those things. But you and I, for instance, might want bigger for ourselves, you know? And so it is okay for your parents to feel that way. They're grown adults. They'll get over it, you know? And that's what I tell people. They're too scared to just be independent, man.
Yeah. Like, and a lot of it, and that's the thing that I guess I'm getting at too, is like, you got to let other people off the hook. Like, not everybody's out to get you, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who are you mad at? Yeah. Like, some people are just human. Like, I think sometimes the advice that we hate the most is advice that we need, and that comes from at least a genuine place. Like, you think about parents or family members, or like, they'll tell you, hey, I don't think you should do this, because a lot of times because they've experienced certain things and have gone through pain that they don't want you to have to go through. At the end of the day, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it or go for it, because a lot of times, I think there's a majority of times that you should, because your journey's not their journey. Yep. But at the end of the day, to be mad at them for saying that, like, you just don't want my dream to, it's not about that, dude.
That's a good friend, like, if you think about it, because I feel like a lot of us don't have enough people like that around us to tell us, like, you know, for instance, my partner Edgar, like, he's the first one to tell him, like, he's blunt. He'll tell me, bro, you're messing up. You know what I mean? You're not doing what it is you need to be doing, or you're being lazy. And he's not telling me because, I gotta be the boss, or I gotta do this or that. He's telling me out of love. Like, I know he's telling me because he sees more in me and wants me to do better. You know, and I can only respect that. You know, I think people tend to like push those people away, and then they just have the yes men around them. Yeah, bro. Yeah. You want to go out tonight and get messed up? You want to go spend all your money here? Like, But versus like, if I sit here and say, I'm not gonna go out. It's Friday night. I'm gonna just chill. Like, what? You're weird. Like, no, I have different plans. Yeah. You and I are we have different mindsets right now, and that's okay. Yeah. I'm just not gonna partake in that.
And I think we have to find a way to be comfortable with disagreement and realize that it's not something that destroys us. That just because, and that's a major thing about this podcast I talk about all the time, like, if we can realize we have way more in common than we do that separates us or divides us, we don't have to see eye to eye on every issue to be able to use our relationship that we have with one another to still grow and be productive in our own life, you know?
I agree.
And you got to be, I think you have to be aware of that, let people off the hook, realize not everybody's, like you said, not everybody's thinking about you. Like it's
just don't take it personal. Like if you sit here and you and I disagree on something, I'm not going to keep pressing my opinion on you. Like, no, Nick, until you agree with me, then we'll move on from this conversation. Like it just doesn't matter, because I know people like that. And it's like, bro, if that's what you believe, that is okay. Like I know so many people who get wrapped up in like, whether it is like what, maybe it's what car they drive, right? And to me, I don't care. Like if my car works, that's all that matters to me, because to me, like the people I care about, my friends, my family, they're gonna love me whether I drive the nicest car or a beat up car. Right. They don't, or if I'm riding a bike, they don't. They don't care. As long as I'm safe, I'm healthy, I'm happy. They don't care. But so many people are like, oh, look at it, what it is that I drive, or you know, and I can say, oh, bro, like I don't know anything, like I don't really care, and they're still gonna like, oh, but look, and it's like, bro, I'm just not into that. You know, we don't see the same on that, and that's completely fine.
Different
like,
value system.
That's to you, the beauty's in the eye of the beholder. You know what I mean? You might think that my physique's worthless, and I might think, oh, I've done so much for it. You don't know what I've done for it. What does it matter? You know, people get too wrapped up in this, like this super selfish and ego, like it's the ego, man, is what it is. You have to learn how to just put that to the side and really focus on, learn who you are. I think not enough people know who they are, and they're I don't know if they're afraid to learn or they just don't know, they're confused, but find out what it is that you truly like. Like I mean, I feel like for a lot of us, whether it's you know, you don't like to go out or you do like to go out, you don't want to go to the gym, you do go to the gym, like whichever you do, that's okay. As long as it's making you happy, then okay. And you're safe and not doing stupid stuff, getting in trouble, whatever. But I think that's a big thing.
And knowing that it's a journey to figuring yourself out. No, I feel like that's almost the quest of life, you know, is like this long journey of, because who you are is a moving target. The things you're passionate about today will evolve and grow, and sometimes dreams lead to other dreams, and you think it's one thing, and it's like, oh, no, it's actually this that I want to do. And I think that you have to let yourself off the hook, too, to be able to go on that journey and realize no matter where, you don't have to have it all figured out today, but are you focused on the right thing? Are you, I mean, it's a reoccurring theme, what we're talking about, or are you in the ditch of caring too much what people think, or caring too much about, you know, controlling the narrative of what people think about you? People do that through status or society. Like you just have to outgrow that and learn to just grow. I mean, I think like for me, you know, being with my girlfriend, since I've been with her since I was 16, you know, and a lot of people are like, oh, that's crazy. Like, you know, they just think it happens overnight, but I'm like, the person I was at 16 to who I am now, and with her as well, are completely different, but we've learned to grow together. I mean, you might hear everything I'm saying and be like, oh, I wonder what his girl does. My girl goes to school full-time, works full-time, wants to be a teacher, and I support her 100%. And she sees what I do, and she supports me 100%. I think too many people can't find that balance, man. It's okay to not do what they're doing. People pressure everyone into do what I'm doing because I'm doing what I'm doing is right, and I don't even think they know. They don't even believe in what they're doing, you know. And I don't know, I think me and her have always had like that communication, and I think that's helped me grow as a person and really just not care whether it's my parents, family, friends, whoever. If they don't agree with what I'm doing, that's okay. It's not their life, it's my life, and whatever it is that they do with their life is their choice. You know, I'm not going to sit here and discourage them or tell them don't follow your dreams or don't do this. I'm gonna, whatever it is they do, I'm gonna tell them just give 110%. You know, I don't care if you're working at McDonald's or you own a business or it doesn't matter. Just give 110% because that shows. You know, I definitely respect people that, I go to fast food all the time and I'm like, dude, I don't know how these guys do it. Like, this is crazy. Like they're they're, you know, working and they're hustling, you know, but it's a different mindset. And to me, I'll have a lot more respect for someone that's doing that and trying to, you know, put food on the table for their family or whatever versus people who are just going to sit there, oh, I'm not going to work that. I'm too good for that. None of us are too good for anything. That's the journey, man. Like if you can't steward the season that you're in, you'll never get to the next one that you're supposed to be at. You know, like you go to places and you see people that there's a difference. People that it's funny, like you'll go to restaurants or you mentioned fast food, and it's almost like they're doing you a favor by, you know, allowing, you know, you to purchase food there, where that's like a completely different mentality.
Such
than
backwards thinking.
Yeah, backwards thinking than when these people that created these businesses were starting them. It's just the culture that has crept in. I find too, like with people, you become jaded, you become accusatory, and get mad at other people for their pursuits when you're unsatisfied with your own, like a lot of times. Like, and I think it's important for people that are going after it to remember that a lot of people that, you know, whether you call it the haters or people that are just, even people that are close to you, usually, and you'll never really know because we don't talk about stuff like this, but usually the reason they are so negative towards your pursuits is because they're unsatisfied with their own. And I know, because if I'm honest, I have felt that at times. If I'm like really vulnerable, I've looked at other people and thought, what are they doing? What the heck are they doing? And then when I stop and say, Nick, why are you feeling that? Like, think about why you're feeling that. And I would get down to the core. The reason I'm feeling that is because they're going after something that's in their heart with 100% freedom, and there's areas of my life that I am not. And so it makes you feel trapped, and because you feel trapped, you act out and start becoming accusatory or whatever.
Just be negative.
Exactly. And it's negativity. It's that simple as that.
And it's crazy because I think there's someone like that, and then for me, for instance, I look at you and I respect what it is that you do. I see like, I mean, I would have never known that you were speaking and doing all these things, you know, before I met you at the gym, right? And I just knew talking to you like, oh, this dude, he's cool. Like, he gives off good vibes, like never nothing. If you've never been nothing but nice to me, I'm not gonna, that's what I think of you as. Right. Someone can tell me, oh, well, I heard this. I don't care. He didn't come off that way to me. I'm not gonna change how I think about that until I get rubbed the wrong way. And then I see you on Instagram and you're out talking in front of everybody. And to me, that's something a lot of people are afraid to do, man. Yeah. Like, think of people in class that have to get up and give a class presentation. Right. Like, bro, you're in front of way more people than that, you know? But to me, why can't someone just say, hey, man, like, that's dope. That's awesome that you do that. Like, keep doing that. Because you can tell when you're doing it that you're passionate about it, that you are happy up there, that you enjoy it. And it comes out in your work because it sounds good. It's fluent. It moves well, you know? So at
the end of the day, that's why I say you almost have to have you got to be mature and realize that a lot of the stuff that we're talking about is human nature, and you're not going to change it unless you start with you. Is the bottom line. You're not going to, and I wish that we all understood this. You're not going to change the world until you start with changing yourself, changing Austin. Like, that's the way that we change the world. Because I think that there's this principle that I've been working on that I think is really true, that evolution requires evaluation. Meaning, as things grow and change, it's really important that you are self-aware and you evaluate who you are as a person, so that you know how to be aware of how your behaviors are affecting things. I think at the core of who we are as humans, a lot of the idiosyncrasies we have are instincts that were necessary when we were really primal, and they were never evaluated, so we still run on them now. So we still run on self-preservation. I got to protect myself, because as humanity has evolved, we've never evaluated.
And it's okay to self-reflect. Like, I think it's a very important thing, actually. I mean, I'm sure you know, like, you know, people say, like, who you surround yourself with, that's who you're going to be like. And I'll know at certain times, you know, I might be having a bad day or something. I'm like, dude, like, why did I act this way towards this person? Or why was I so mean about this? Or why am I thinking this way? And I start to think, okay, who have I been around? And I start to really like plan. I'm like, dude, it's toxic, man. Like, as much as like you might think like, oh no, that's just my boy from high school. Like, we're super cool. They're still penetrating your mind, dude. Like, them being around you is still penetrating your mind. And you have to, it's okay to you know, not push those people away, but to just distance yourself a bit, because you have to put yourself around people that are going to put you in a better position, whether it's, you know, they're going to make you more happy, or they're going to make your overall life better because you're treating your family and your friends better, and your business better, your work better. You have to acknowledge those things. And it's okay. We all have issues, man. Like, it's okay to check yourself and be like, hey, you know,
I think it's necessary. Like, it's necessary. You talk about ego. To me, one of the greatest signs of an egotistical person is a person who cannot see their own wrong or see their own fault. That think, like, I get that you can think like, well, they shouldn't have done that. Okay, but what are things that you shouldn't have done? Like, are you being honest about those? And if you're being honest about those, I'll hear you out on what you have to say about what you think other people shouldn't have done. But I think sometimes fundamentally, if we would just be vulnerable and honest about, hey, let's be self-aware for a second. You know, the thing that you're mad about so-and-so for doing, have you ever done that? Do you ever see that? Do you ever see yourself self-protecting when you feel insignificant and insecure? And then you realize that's only, they feel like somebody has touched their worth and they feel threatened. And so because they feel threatened, again, instincts that have gone unexamined, they lash out, right? It's like like you watch those.
And there's never anything good out of that. Like,
no,
it's never.
Well, and because it's not needed anymore. You know what I mean? Like when you go back to like formative days where we didn't have technology and we're all primal, you know, killing animals, and we have, you know, tigers or bears or whatever, mountain lions coming into, you know, the human camps and they're attacking, you have to fight back for the sake of survival. But that instinct in our society isn't as necessary anymore. And I think that you take that, it's the same thing. When somebody comes at you in the gym or says something cross-grain, it's that same instinctual thing that has never been evaluated, that it would be just as like something coming into your camp when we didn't have technology, like you're fighting back.
Yeah, but, and you see so, like, talking about the gym, you see so much of it in there, man. Like I'll have guys come up and like, oh, bro, you see so-and-so looking at you? And I'm like, no. What do you mean?
So
like, and
funny.
if someone is looking at me, I'm like, oh, like maybe they're looking at my muscle. Like that, I'm going to take it that way. Like, oh, cool, they're complimenting me. But if someone's looking at me weird, like, why am I going to get bothered by that, man? I think so many, like, it's like an alpha thing or something with, especially with males, bro. Like so many guys like, oh, I'll fight. Everyone swears they can fight, bro. Like everybody. But I'm like, bro, let's really think about this logically. Let's sit here. If there's an issue, let's talk about it and let's move on. Like, no one wants to really fight. Does anyone really want to fight?
No.
Like, how many times do you hear guys, oh, I was going to, fight this dude in the gym, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And when's the last time you saw a fight in the gym? I haven't. You know what I mean? So to me, that stuff's just ridiculous. But once again, I think it goes back to ego. You know, it's this whole, just people trying to protect themselves or their pride or whatever that is. And it's like, let go of that.
How do you distance yourself from ego being in an industry where it's all about how you look? Like, I feel like that's so hard. Like, I mean, I feel like, because it's funny, you see these bodybuilders, and it is hilarious to see them on Instagram, and then you see them in real life, and it's like, oh, that's you.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't mean it in a bad way to people, and I'm not talking about you, but I'm saying, like, you'll see people, and it's like, you see their physique photos, and then you're like, you don't look like the same
like
person
that.
you do.
Yeah.
But you see how it is attached to, like, an ego thing, because it's all about, how do I get the right angle to make sure that I look the way that I need to look? But
a lot of it's delusion, though, man. Like, I'm
what do you
telling,
mean?
like, people are delusional. Like, I feel like for me, like, you know what anorexia is?
Yeah.
They have a thing called bigorexia. And I know it sounds stupid, but like,
right, I think I've heard of that.
yeah, I think it's a real thing, because I know for me, like, I can look at myself in the mirror and still think I look like when I started working out, right? Like, in my head, I'm like, oh, I have not really made that much progress. Like, this is bad, you know? But I think a lot of people are delusional in the fact that, oh, I've made so much progress, because they get a good picture. But, bro, you don't see the bad angles of the pictures, because I'll see a bad angle of me and I'm like, bro, that's how I look. Why did you tell me? Why did you say I looked okay in this tank top? Like, I'm mad, you know? So I think, separating yourself from being in such an ego-driven thing is just, I think, because once again, I don't do it because I want people to tell me, oh, you look sick, you look sick. Like, does it feel good when people tell you that? Yeah, but it feels good because I know the work that I've put in for this, But at the end of the day, if there was no Instagram, no social media, no pictures, whatever, I would still do this. Like, if being...
See, isn't that a good test right there, though? You know what I mean? For most people.
Most people wouldn't.
If there wasn't social media, if you couldn't get likes for what it is that you're doing, would you still be doing it?
100%. Like, I feel like I post... Like, for as much as I work out, I post very rarely at the gym. Like, I see guys, like, they're going, hey, man, get this video for me. And I'm like, dude, we haven't even started working out yet. Like, can we just... I don't even like to do that, because when I'm there, like, I'm in my zone, man. Like, I like to... That's my time. Like, I like to just do what I do, and that's what makes me happy. I don't want to sit here and I almost hate the social media aspect, because it's like, you have to brand yourself that way. Back in... the 90s, even early 2000s, like, you just were a bodybuilder, you competed, you got a contract, you made $200,000 a year. That was that, you know, with muscular development or whoever. Now those magazine companies are gone, man. The world's innovated. We have social media. You get everything instant. So you have to do that all yourself. And I think a lot of bodybuilders have that issue, man. A lot of them still feel like, I got to wear the hoodie, put my hood on, can't talk to nobody, have to be mad. And it's like, bro, you're not going to get anywhere in life doing that because people are going to be like, I don't like you. Like, I feel like when I'm in the gym, I want people to come up to me. You know, it can bother me sometimes because I do just want to get my workout on. But if someone's taking time out of their day to like, hey, bro, how did you get like that? Or what do you have any input on this diet or whatever? Like, I'm going to give them my advice because I know what it was like to be young and to not know what to do and to be scared to ask these certain people, you know, and I don't ever want to come off that way to younger dudes or just whoever in general, even older people, you know. I always want to be able to help because if I could have used that, it would have, I know the influence that would have had on me, and people don't see their own influence with other people and you know, the knowledge they can provide. Like, I think, you know, even with the whole social media thing, all that, like, I think of myself as like a project. Like, I don't think of myself as like, oh, this is me. Like, my physique is my project. Like, it's what I'm working on. Like, and I want it to just look a certain way, but it's for me. It's not because I want people to bow down and praise me. Like, that's so ridiculous sounding anyways, because at the end of the, like, so many dudes I know that want to get in really good shape to impress girls or whatever. I'm like, bro, they don't know the difference between 6% body fat and 12%. Like, if you got a little bit of muscle, a little bit of abs, they're like, oh, he's jacked. Like, you probably look sick to them at that point, you know? So it's just this whole like delusion thing, man. And I don't know, I've kind of just separated myself from that. Like, I do, like I said, I do like the competing aspect and the sport of it and everything, but the mindset that goes into it and all that, I try and keep my distance with it because I'm not the same.
That's kind of the tough part though too, is because where our world is going, I mean, part of it is required of you for your livelihood and for your, you know, for your brand or whatever. You know what I mean?
Social
Like,
media is everything.
Yeah, like it's not like you can say, what, that doesn't matter, because it does matter. It's just making sure that it matters in the right place in your life. You know what I mean? That has become your identity.
It's finding that, because I think with me doing the pre-workout, for instance, right, with my partner, like, not having social media, it would have failed right off the bat. But it was crazy. We have all these containers come in, you know, I tell people this story, and you know, we got all this and I was super scared, like, oh bro, like, this is my first like investment on something, like I don't know what I'm doing, like, what if these don't sell, like I have all this I'm out of money, like I got pre for life, you know. And then, you know, I see a couple people post it or buy it, and then they post it, and then it became this thing to like post it on Instagram, and I started to notice it. And I remember me being in high school and thinking, oh, C4 adrenaline, like you had to have that because everyone was talking about it, and I'm like, bro, is that what like my product's doing right now here? And so I was like, I have to just put all this out there. So I was like, if someone gets annoyed because I'm posting it too much, I don't care. That's my business. That's my baby. That's what I do.
That's why you have to remember why it is that you're doing it and what it is that you're using it for.
And I see the love. To me, like, that's just mad love from people. Like, I don't ever ask anyone, if I brought a container here, hey, can you guys post this all to your Instagram? Like, I'm not going to do that, man. If you guys want to do it, I feel like you're going to do it because, hey, I met Austin. He's a cool person. I'm going to do that for him. If not, so be it. I'm not going to be mad. If you bought my product, didn't buy it, you tried it, you gave me feedback, whatever it is, if you did something with it, I appreciate that, you know? But I think with people posting that and stuff, it really became this thing of, oh, it must be that good. It must be that good. It must be that good. And so people do it, and you create this like little wave. And I don't know. I feel like that was a big reason that it blew up for me at first. And now I'm like, okay, what can I do to capitalize on this? I need to make sure that I'm still making good products for all these people that are supporting me, because that's their hard-earned money that they're giving me, man. Like, we ran one discount on the pre-workout one day, and that was Black Friday, and I think we sold only like 10 containers that day. So everything else was full price, like my own family, friends. I don't discount them, man, like, because it's business, bro. Like, you don't think I want to help these people out? Like, my own dad is like paying full price for these containers.
You gotta pay up.
that's what it is, man. I'm just very serious about what it is that I'm doing, and I want people to take me serious. And I think people, you know, if I made a shirt, you know, oh, it's just Austin's shirt or whatever. But why do we think that? Because you know him, you know, like, I'm sure people say, oh, it's just Austin. He made I went to high school with him. He's nothing. Like, it's whatever. But, oh, I bought this pre from this dude in LA. But, oh, bro, it's the best thing ever. Like, bro, why are we not supporting our own here? Let's support everyone with whatever it is that they're doing here. Like,
well, I think we too have an escapist mentality. You know, you talk about the Fresno thing, and that's a passion point of mine too, because people say, well, I want to move to such and such place. There's no opportunity here. It's like, don't you realize that you actually almost have more opportunity here being that nobody's doing it? Like if you're a pioneer,
the cost
like
of living.
if you're going to start something, like I went to in the home renovation world. What's that couple that's really popular? The Magnolia people. Do you know what I'm talking about? Chip and Joanne. I don't know if you know who these
My
people
girl
are, but anyway.
knows.
Yeah, so they're like big in the home renovation world.
Okay.
And they're in Waco, Texas, and I had to go out to Texas for something, and so we went in a couple days early to go through there. And when I went through there, it was mind-boggling because the city, dude, is like, it's not like what you would think. You know what I mean? Like you see it on magazines and you see the power shots on TV and you see their television show and you think like, man, this city's popping, and you get it. And it's like, they're the only good thing that's come out of that city, but yet they did it where they were at.
And
I'm like,
known for.
yeah. And I'm like, look what they did for their city. Like they put their city on the map. Like, why don't you just, instead of having an escapist mentality of I got to go there, why don't you just do it here? I say that to people that, I want to be in that friends. Why don't you build your own friend circle, right? Like build your own brotherhood. Why do you want to be a part of somebody else's?
I want to be in Fresno forever. I think what it is people think that, I left to LA. People think I made it. I'm out here. I'm not there. I'm better than them. That's what I think that's a lot of what it comes down to,
proximity, right? Like if I'm here, then
I got away from that. People just stay stuck or whatever. But if you're doing something here, like, to me, I'm passionate about Fresno and what we are, because I see a sleeping giant here. Like I see so much potential and so many things that can happen, and people don't realize how big we are. Like for instance, I follow I don't know if you guys listen to Mozzie. He's like a rapper from Sacramento, you know? And whenever you hear him talk, he talks about like, I'm from Sacramento, like I'm not from the Bay, because a lot of people that aren't in California, for instance, consider that Bay Area music, because he does have that type of sound. Right. But he makes it known, I'm from Sacramento, like they're who put me on. Even Nipsey, for instance, like, he was supposed to sign with Rick Ross. Rick Ross was going to give him a deal with MMG, and it was a perfect deal. But the thing that turned him down was he didn't want people thinking MMG made him who he is. He wanted people to know my team that I came up with from a young, early age. That's who's still with me. That's who still does this thing. Like they produced all my music, everything. And to me, that's dope, bro. Like that's love, because
it's character, right? Like that's hard. It's hard because it would be easy to do the
just
other.
Leave. But you're taking your people with you, man. And I think that speaks volumes, bro. That is going to do a lot more for you in the long run. People think very short term. You know, people think. I mean, you see it with a lot of these music artists, for instance. Like I feel bad for so many of them, because they're in these really bad situations. Say they grew up gangbanging and they don't have any money. Their family has no money, and someone comes along, sees potential, and hey man, I'll offer you $10,000 to sign with me. But they're taking like 80% of their earnings. Right. Like it's a dog eat dog world there, man. You have to game yourself up and to know what it is that you're getting yourself into, because we all have so much power and I mean, you see so many artists upset with their deals, man. And I think that's why it's so popular for people to go indie now.
And it is probably too, like, it's being baited into thinking you can bypass the process. You know what I mean? And if you do, you always end up with less. You know?
Yeah,
like you always end up with less. Like
that's everything in life.
Yeah, things that are great take time to become great. You know, like what doesn't take, the things that reproduce the fastest are the things that are not the greatest.
That's why I thought it was dope watching that podcast you did with Jizzo, for instance. Like, I think you would ask him, like, oh, like, don't you want to go somewhere else? And he's like, oh, it has to be the right opportunity. I think because he knows, like, I mean, this is what I took from him and from hearing him talk. I don't know him, but he loves what he does here. And I think he really wants to put Fresno on, because no one has, man. Like, Fashion's, like, the only person to really, like, come up out of here, but even then he kind of missed his wave a little bit. Like I feel like he could have done a lot more with how he blew up, you know. So I think it's up to us to, as a community, to push each other versus bringing everyone down and not supporting their business. Oh, it's a local brand? Nah, it's a local brand. Not like, no, you should want to do that, because it's only going to carry you further, you know. And I mean, I don't know. It's just it's a crazy way of thinking, but I see why a lot of people get stuck in that.
Yeah. If you could think bigger picture and remember that every, you know, it's like I've heard this saying, like every seed reproduces after its own kind, meaning if you sow, you know, positivity and encouragement, it will produce more positivity and encouragement. And I think that in a world where our day to day, I mean, drags us down. I mean, you can be feeling good and then open up Instagram and instantly feel bad, or open up Twitter or turn on the news. Like, you can go anywhere and just be discouraged about your situation in a moment. I think it shows the need for that much more encouragement and that much more.
And I even think having to disconnect yourself from social media at times, you know, I think we're all so wrapped up in what goes on there, and it's like a separate life or whatever, but you have to know. I mean, dude, I'm sure you see, if you guys go out and eat dinner tonight somewhere, look at people sitting down. They're all just on their phones, like not even engaged with human interaction or what's going on, like living in this like false reality. Like we're here, like live here. You know what I mean?
And
like,
but it's also easier said than done,
true,
right? I mean,
true.
like, because I feel like it's almost, I don't know, it's an addiction in a lot of ways. Like it's like a kid with a security blanket. Like you don't feel
because what's the
safe.
first thing you do when you wake up in the morning? Check your phone. You know, who texted me? Who? Let me check my Instagram. Did people like this or whatever? Like it's literally just habit. But I think we as people need to. I think, you know, social media technology, everything, it's a great thing, but we also have to not get so wrapped up. And I think they've done such a good job of like, we have to have it on us, you know, like it's such a crazy thing,
dude.
You know?
And then that's where you get into AI and
bro,
right?
bro.
I mean, like, where are we going from there? And how your phone is literally an extension of you and learning you. And,
bro, your phone knows you better than you know you.
I know.
Like that's facts, bro. Like that's just
Isn't that weird like, though? Because it understands you. Like,
bro, that's so like crazy. Like it's scary, bro. Honestly, like, you know, like where's the human race gonna be in?
Well, you've heard Elon Musk talk about artificial intelligence, right?
Yeah, and it's scary when he talks about it because he's got this look in his eyes. Like I was watching that Joe Rogan podcast, and you could just tell like there's some evil going on with AI, you know. And I don't know, man. Like they're gonna take all our jobs. They're gonna kill us off. They're gonna be like, what are these humans worth?
How we go extinct?
Yeah, I think so, man. Like, because I mean, think of us as humans. We're a weird like species, you know. Like the fact that we have like dogs as pets and cats, and we do all these things. Like no other animal does that. Like you don't see a lion with a pet dog or something. Like they're just gonna kill it. Like you're worse than me, or you know, you're not as good as me. I'm killing you off. We don't need you.
We take them and we make them domesticated.
And like do these weird things.
Put them in our bed.
So like I think AI, like the chances of them.
I've seen your morning pictures with your Yorkie. His Yorkie like laying on his face, dude. Like bro, he's that guy that he's talking about right now.
Oh no, she's the best, bro. But that's
you're that animal.
See, but no, I'm gonna be the animal to the AI. That's what I'm trying to say, bro. Imagine I'm
gonna
be
Yorkie?
The pet.
You're the Yorkie.
I'm gonna be the Yorkie
laying
to the AI,
on the face of your
Tesla.
Of your AI.
Yeah,
it's weird though because it is true about your phone. Like I think about how it's not really going anywhere, and even how easier it gets. Like I've had to get a couple new phones lately, and even when you get your new phone and then you type in your information, like everything from this phone just ends up on this phone. Like that's being stored somewhere. You know what I mean? And it's more than just like preferences. Like it literally is a lot of you. You know what I mean? It's literally
because
you.
You and I mean, say we sit here and I'm like, oh, what sounds good to eat after this? And you're like, Domino's. Let's go get Domino's, bro. Yeah. I guarantee we go on our Instagram.
That's weird, though.
It's
going
to pop up on all our phones. But if you check these agreements with Instagram, with Apple, with Facebook, they all ask to have access to your microphone, your camera. You don't think this camera is being used right now? It is.
Yeah, it is.
Like that's just.
But that also shows how addicted we are to it in some ways. That we know, even if we know that, nobody's going to say, okay, well, no, I'm not going to use a phone. Like you say, okay, that's almost part of it.
Because you cannot live in this day and age without
You're
one.
not willing to.
Like, I mean, bro, I would fail.
How
would I sell my product?
How
would I, like, you know? How would Instagram bodybuilders bodybuild, you know?
How would I even survive without a phone?
Like, that's crazy to think, though, man, that we're that, like...
But that's where we're at.
Because I feel like we're in that era of, I mean... you're how old right now?
33.
Okay, so think of, like, growing up, for instance, right? Like... We went through that phase of where phones were not a thing like they are now.
Yeah.
Like, you remember having home phones? Like, I remember having to ask my dad, like, oh, can I call my friend to see if he can come over? And I'm all on the home phone, like, asking. I remember dropping my sister's first cell phone and cracking it. Like, she was super mad. And it was, like, a little, like, you know, I don't even know what the phone was. I remember having razors and all that to, like, you have these kids now, bro, that like have this. It's bad, bro. Like I know I have a really good friend,
bad,
and he substitute teaches, and he's like, bro, I want to like smack half these kids. Like they're just walking around, AirPods in, like they don't care, they don't listen to you, they don't care. Like there's no respect, there's no you know, they don't respect authority or anything because they're so wrapped in that. Like even at the dinner table, they'll have it propped up and they're watching some Fortnite stream or whatever.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
and it's funny. It's always the weird things like that. Well, it seems weird to me, but I guess it's not that weird. Like watching people play video games seems weird to me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like just watch, like that's
a career,
that's
bro.
But it's a full blown career.
And like they're making money, bro. Like that's where I'm saying, like, you know, going back to just doing what it is you want to do. Like that's, I mean, I remember as kids we say, oh, like, you know, your mom would be like, get off that. Like, what are you gonna do?
He was a professional gamer for a while.
That's dope, bro.
You really were.
What'd you play? What game? Halo? Okay. Halo. Okay. I mean, that's what Ninja started with, right?
Yeah.
I had a boy who was super good. He was like in the pro comps with like FIFA. I mean, bro, it's a full-time thing.
It
like,
is.
I mean, you see these Fortnite dudes. Like, I feel like when Fortnite got big, I played it a little too much, and I got good. But then you stop for a month and you go back, it's like, bro, this little like 4-year-old kid is just like destroying me, you know? Like, gaming is a real thing, but there's money in it, bro, and that's why I don't laugh at it. Like, I think back in the day, people would be like, oh, like, he's a gamer. Like, what does that mean? But it's like, bro, these people are making millions. Like, you look at Ninja, like, with Red Bull and what he's done, I'm like, he's paving the way for these dudes, and that I think that's super dope.
Well, you look at all these guys that have become even famous from things that don't even exist anymore, like Vine, right? Like, I mean, the guys that went to start, like, they were just the ones that hopped on it and believed in it the first, you know, and you think like, oh, that's stupid. Here's another thing, but yet they built their careers in their life, and they're making a lot more money than most of us are off of just believing in something. And I think that's why there's so much more power, and you can only in believing, just having like self-belief, and I think and even bigger than that, just faith in the possibilities of what could be. You know, like live for the possibilities of what could be instead of putting a cap and a lid on everything. Like that doesn't get anybody nowhere. And it's certainly not going to get you anywhere.
It's okay to like dream big. I think, you know, talking about my partner Edgar, for instance, like he's been doing the Iron Bullies thing, his clothing thing, for I think like 2.5, 3 years or something like that. And it was probably a little over a year ago. Well, go back to probably the first 6 months. He goes to one of the Fit Expos and gives Cass Martin a few shirts, and she's like a real popular you know, fitness girl in the bodybuilding world, right? She's probably has like 2-3 million followers. She's a big deal, right? And year goes by, she never did anything with his, whatever. And he calls me one day flipping out, and he's like, bro, like, go check Instagram right now. And I look, and she posted in his tank, bro, and like that night he did like 20, 30 orders or whatever from all over the world, you know? And to me, it's like, bro, that's where these little things do make a difference. Like, he could have went and handed her that shirt, and she, whatever, threw it away.
Right.
But the fact that, like, and then a year goes by, and he's probably thinking in his head, like, she, you know, didn't do anything with it. Her dog probably wears it or something. And then, you know, the fact that she posted it, and now he's been able to build, like, this relationship with her where he sends her stuff, and she's posting his stuff a lot now. And I think, like, and then, you know, people see that, and they're like, oh, wow, now it's something. But it's like, it's just the power of believing and following through and being persistent, not giving up on those things. You know, you can't. People are gonna turn you down, man. You're gonna get you know, left on red. You're gonna get rejected. There's gonna be tons of rejection, but you have to be okay with that. Like, because when you do get accepted or when something does work, it's gonna feel really good. You know, I think that's a big part of just being successful, and, you know, once again, just being fearless, man, not caring what too many people care, like, that they're going to be, you know, I don't know, their ego is going to be bruised or something. And to me, it's like, that's just life, man.
Keep moving, man. You got to keep moving, keep pushing. The second you get caught up in that kind of stuff, you're just done. You know what I mean? If you're sitting, think about the energy. I mean, you're sitting worried about why you got left on red. What do you take that energy and put it into something? You know what I mean? Work for 30 minutes on the project that you're working on. Like,
it's crazy. So many people will sit there and tell you about how bad their life is, and bro, I can't get these bills paid, and I'm so tired, and they'll tell you for 30 minutes, and I'm like, oh, why didn't you use that 30 minutes to do something, to figure out? Like I said, there's so many things to do now, man. Like, with our world being so tech savvy and everything, like, there's new opportunities every single day. And it sounds ridiculous, but you can literally make money doing anything now. Like even the Uber's a thing, bro. Like, I mean, that's pretty sick. Like, I know for me, if I was in a bad spot and I needed money or I didn't have a job or whatever, I would much rather go do Uber all day than work fast food or because to me, like, I would just much rather drive people around. I mean, how strenuous is that? You're in the AC, you're driving, you're making money, right? You're going to probably make around minimum wage or whatever, around the same, maybe a little bit more, and you end up doing a little bit better. But people just don't have that drive or that work ethic or that just, you know, okay, I am going to do this. I'm not going to be embarrassed about this. Yeah, be a problem solver. Yeah, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Yeah.
There's plenty. I tell people all the time, dude, if you're going, there's plenty of money in the world. This is not a money issue. This is a figuring out how to get it issue because it's there. It's not like anybody's, I mean, it's there and it's accessible to you if you'll be a problem solver and stick with it.
You have to find what your worth is and find something of worth and then create something with that. I mean, even I see people that do video work and I think that's super cool. Like, because to me, like, you're becoming an asset to anything. Like, if you need to do music videos, if you need to shoot for a brand, if you need to even record something like this, like, you literally have so much of an audience, a broad audience, to where you create so much business and you get to tell people what you charge. You know, to me, that's like that's
you set your own scale. Yeah,
and that's why I commend people that do that. Same with music, same with photo, all that stuff. Like, there's very big markets to tackle. I see a lot of people doing like weddings or whatever, and that's not cheap, dude. If you're shooting weddings every month, like, you're probably making some good money, like, and that's a career now. Like, but people are forced to think, nah, if I'm not clocking in and clocking out, this isn't a career. You know?
You don't take it seriously, and you should. You should. It's I think it's the thing that you set your hand to do and don't stop. Ultimately,
and also being smart about it and not naive, because that's like, I can sit here and tell you, oh, bodybuilding is going to make money. I'm going to make money one day. I'm going to win Mr. Olympia or whatever. But to me, I'm just more realistic with it. Like, yeah, could that happen? Maybe. Yeah. But is that my main goal? No. Like, I have other aspirations and other things I want to do, and I can do other things while working towards that goal. You can multitask, And
well, I think a lot of times we have dreams, and so we start thinking in leaps instead of realizing that life happens in steps. You if you're thinking of, well, if this ever happened, that's a leap, dude. Like, what is your step today? And maybe that step will take you closer and closer and closer to where one day Mr. Olympia or whatever is a step. But but right now, that's
you have to focus on the now, man.
What's your next?
Because by the day something can change. Like, I know for me, like, my girl's pregnant right now. She's 18 weeks.
Congratulations.
And, like, thank you. But hearing it was like, oh, like, I'm 22, man. Like, it's kind of scary,
Right.
But I think a lot of it is, it's how you look at it. Like, I could sit there and say, like, I can't follow what it is that I want to do. I'm not going to put as much effort into things because I'm going to have this baby and I'm going to have to put more time into the baby. Like, no, I'm just going to have to work harder. I'm just going to have to sacrifice some sleep. I'm going to have to sacrifice lots of things. But as long as I use that as my motivation to do more, then I'll be cool. You know, and that's why people ask me, oh, are you stressed? No, dude. Like, at first, but then when I thought about it, I was like, bro, it's up to me. Like, it's up to me if I want to be lazy or if I want to work. Like, we all have time, because I know so many people that waste time just at home, like, watching whatever game or this, and we all get wrapped into that, but I know a lot of people that do it too much, where it's like every night they're wasting hours and hours, not doing anything productive. Like, cut that time down and put those other hours into something productive and see how much you'll elevate your own life and what it is that you're doing, So it's all like looking at the glass half full or half empty type thing. That's why.
And prioritizing, not just what matters, but what matters most.
And not letting anything like, I know, like, I woke up one morning right after I tore my pec, and I was super, like, down on myself, like, oh, this sucks, man. I've been working out straight for 7 years, bro. Like, it's definitely like, it's weird. It's a change of something. And I got a call. I was showering, getting ready for work, and I got a call, and it was the imaging center, and they were like, oh, your MRI got denied. So I was like, bro, are you, like, I've been going through everything to try and get this. Like, are you serious? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm not, like, it's over with. It's done. I'll figure it out. On to the next thing. hit up my doctor, and we'll go from there, you know? And I'm not going to, because too many people will take that and like, oh, my day sucks now. And they're going to treat people a certain way. They're going to give off a certain type of energy. Yeah. And what good is that going to bring you, man? Versus if you're just like, you know what? It is what it is. It happened. What can we do now? Let's move past this and let's just go and go about our day and have a good day. You'll be fine, man. A lot of people don't, I don't know, man. Energy is everything, you know? And I think as long as you're putting out good energy, that's what you're going to get back, you know, because I'm sure, you know, like, you know, karma's a real thing. Like you put out bad energy for sure comes back.
It's a principle. Whatever you do put out, that's what you get back, you know, and usually you get it back more than whatever you put it out. So that's just kind of
just stay doing that. I think if, you know, all of us as people are like that, for instance, we're going to, as far as Fresno as a whole, like it will become such a better place. You know, I think it's up to, like you said, it's up to us. It's starting with ourselves. And so many people are quick to say, oh, Fresno sucks. There's nothing to do in Fresno. No, that's just you. Like there's plenty of things to do here. Like okay, what are you going to do in LA that you can't do here? Right. Please tell me.
Yeah. Like that you would do on a consistent basis.
Yeah. Go to Disneyland. Yeah. Like, cool. They got Disneyland. I'll give them that, you know, but that doesn't mean that we can't.
You're not going to Disneyland every day. It's like people that live by the beach and it's like, I love living by the beach, but how often do you go to the beach? It's like,
when it's there, it's not as like,
it's too common. Like you overlook it.
Yeah. I think that's, you know, like you said, too many people want to leave Fresno or I don't want to like be here. To me, I want to be here forever, man. Like I want Fresno to be something big. I want it to, you know, I want to help Fresno and change Fresno. There's certain areas of here, man, like where people are growing up that are not good areas, you know, where kids are, you know, not taught, they don't know any better. Like you see these kids growing up gangbanging or doing things they're not supposed to be doing, but that's what they're born into, man. Like their family is teaching them that. Like it's up to us to help get them out of that and to help them see more in themselves. And that's where I say, like, it would bring me more fulfillment, for instance, to have hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And to, instead of put that into a nice car and a nice house for myself, to put that into opening a gym and being like, hey, man, come work the gym, clean it, you know, at night or whatever, or come work, you know, clean during the day, whatever it is. Give them something to do and pay them to where they don't have to be there, you know, give them an outlet. I think we tend to just look at ourselves too much and not look at other people's situations. I mean, our worst day is better than a lot of people's best day, man. And I think we don't really put that into perspective too much. And that's why I never feel sorry for myself. Like if something bad happens, like, oh, me getting my MRI denied. Yeah. Is that really a big deal, man? No. Right. Like it's an injury. It's going to heal. It's going to work out at the end of the day. But am I dying? Am I, you know, here, starving, whatever? No, I'm still here. So why am I going to be so upset about this when there's people out there like that have it way worse?
Perspective, dude. Two more questions and then we'll wrap it up. How long have we been going?
I feel like I just ramble sometimes, man.
No, it's good,
like,
dude. Rambling's good. People like rambling.
I feel like I just...
Huh? Hour 20. What is I know you're into conspiracy theories. Ooh. What's your favorite?
That's hard, man. I don't want to like put too much out there because I'm
God.
No, I don't want to like
guy, dude.
No, I don't want to rub people the wrong way with certain things.
I don't want to put too much out there. I don't know if people can handle it, so I'll probably just keep that to myself.
No, I don't know, man. I think conspiracy theory, I've heard crazy ones, man, like the FEMA camps, like the concentration camps. You haven't heard of these?
No, explain.
Like they're saying that, you know, there's things as far as like they're basically saying they're building concentration camps in America right now. And
for who?
For us, bro. Who do you think?
To put us in?
Yeah, because they want this, like, they're saying, like, the elite, you know, they have an agenda and they want,
who is
like,
the elite?
The elite, like, the bankers, the politicians, the people up top, right?
Yeah.
They want to live this utopian world. So, I don't know, man. I follow a lot of things and I see, like, if you look into music, tap into, like, certain music and look into... with Hollywood, right? I think Hollywood shows us a lot.
Is this like Illuminati? Like, is that?
Yeah, it's sort of. I would not really say Illuminati. I mean, I still think it's once again a conspiracy thing, just because it's. I don't know if it's real or not, but I do my own research. I don't ever believe anything.
Is there any of them that you think like, nah, I'm pretty sure this is?
I don't think we landed on the moon.
You don't
first
think
time? No, I don't think so. I don't even know if Earth is round, bro.
You're a flat earther.
Just kidding.
He's a flat earther, dude.
I'll watch.
Let's journey to the edge of the land
What's
and see
his
if we
face
fall off.
on Joe Rogan? The dude that's always arguing him.
What's
the
his
jiu-jitsu,
name?
Eddie Bravo. Is that who it is? Yeah, he'll
Yeah.
always be arguing him on that. But to me, even I won't accept that Earth is round until I see it for myself.
You're that guy though. You're not that guy, Austin.
But
I have to see it to believe it. You're not that guy.
But you're just gonna trust a picture that could be photoshopped. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not that.
Then why is nobody ever driven off the face of the earth? Like, wouldn't somebody eventually come to the edge?
Because I'm sure there's an answer, but they're not giving us that answer, bro.
Who is they? Who is this all powerful?
The elite.
Who is the elite? These are such
exactly. They don't want us to know who they are.
Power states. The elite. It's the who. It's the strong.
I think the elite are like the bank, the people with the most.
Why
money.
The bankers over and over?
Because they have the most money.
Because they have all of our money.
I think just money is power, man. I think even looking into like what our money is, like if you look at your dollar bill, it says Federal Reserve note. Like that money is loaned. That money is that's not money. That's not worth anything. All of our money is loaned. So if I owe you $5, I already owed that $5. It literally makes no sense. Because that's our system that we're structured on.
But doesn't everybody have a treasury type system? Isn't that isn't that what created free market, like an ability to where we're not just all growing grains and farmers and all whatever, like being able to.
But then how do we get out of debt if all the money has been loaned from? Because it's not loaned; it's loaned from the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve loans.
You mean
it
like
to
our
our
country
banks.
get out of debt?
Mm-hmm. They don't.
Right.
Because the Federal Reserve loans it to the banks. You know what I mean? And
so when you think about it, it's kind of a weird system because you're making more money and getting more debt, but you're never going to pay that off. So like, why does it matter?
What's the point of it? Yeah, I think just living in a monetary system is like a weird thing. It's kind of scary when you think about it. Like that you go into your doctor. Do you really know your doctor's going to tell you what's wrong with you because he genuinely cares about you or because he has to pay his bills?
Well, I think that That's.
And I'm not saying doctors are bad because my doctor's very good and there's tons of good doctors bad. Same thing with lawyers. There's good everything and bad everything. No,
there is. There's always bad.
But
people
just
in
don't
every
trust.
industry.
I see too many people in the health industry.
You pedestal the position, right? Like because you're a doctor, that I can trust everything. That
Exactly.
You say.
And I see too many people in the health industry. Like I'll know people overweight, and they're like, "Oh, my doctor has me taking this, this, and this," and I'm like, "Well, what does your diet look like?
Yeah.
That's why you're overweight. That's what got you there. Like, stop putting all these medications into you, and you don't know the harm that it could possibly do to your body. Don't trust everything you hear. And that's why when you talk about conspiracies, like. I'm very just open to anything. You can tell me anything, and I'm not going to be like, no, there's no way. Like, I'm not saying Earth is flat, but I'm not saying I don't think it's not round, but I won't 100% believe it's round until, like, if I were to see it, Because it's just, like, even there's people from NASA that have came out and said that all those pictures are Photoshopped. There's people saying that we've never even been, there's a certain layer in our atmosphere that we haven't broken through yet. I mean, and even with the first moon landing, like, why would you lie to us about that?
Yeah.
I think that's the weirdest thing. Like,
how do you formulate your opinions? Is it just like, do you go off gut or you go off information?
No, I go off information. Whether I'll research stuff or I'll watch videos on YouTube, as credible or not credible as they can be, But I don't like to like try and explain to people my positions. Just because I'm not good at like reciting the information I took from those videos, right? Like they'll have certain things like, well, this doctor said this or this scientist said this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna quote people and not because I don't know all of it, but I know I formulate my own opinion. And then if you tell me, well, no, I think because of this, and you give me good points, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You know, like I'm not gonna argue anybody on it. But I mean, I've heard tons of like crazy conspiracies, where it's like I have a board game. It's a conspiracy theory board game, bro. Yeah, my girl does not want to play it with me either. Yeah, she does she hates when I like bring weird stuff up. She's like, "Stop! You're scaring me. Stop."
There's no doubt. There's way.
Okay, what do you
more
think of aliens?
Well, like, do I think that they're real?
Yeah.
See, that's tough. I don't know. I think that again, I'm very much side the same with you. Like,
what if they're the elite?
I'm more. What if they're the bankers? What if they're the credit unions? Oh gosh, you think is it like the lizard people? You seen those?
There's reptilian. I mean,
reptilians.
Reptilians is what they call them. I mean, I don't know, man.
I don't know that
the
aliens.
Simpsons put it in their show. I don't know.
I'm a believer in the divine, so like I can to me like when I look at certain coincidences, to me I think that there are too many coincidences even within the space of conspiracy theories to explain with just solely natural means. So I believe that there is for sure more than just us, you know. And
but don't you think even the term conspiracy theory is weird? Like they coined it to be like, like we'll use conspiracy theory because then people will not think it's real because it's a theory. So, you know, like it's like
so
reverse psychology.
Yeah.
I think
Who
that's
is they?
weird.
And the elite did this, right? The bankers.
I think whoever it is
they
that
sent
has
out
this,
an email, or was it through text
I mean,
message?
bro, I think there's people that watch us. They're like, look at these dummies, like just on their phones, like talking on a podcast.
Did you ever see the movie
like-
The Truman Show?
Yeah, where they
Okay.
all like live the
I've
same
thought about
or whatever.
yeah, well, it's like it's a world like basically that is it's a bubble, like it's a made world, and then there is like camera crews and tech crews that are like watching this guy live his life. I've thought about that before.
I think any movie like has lots of truth to it. That's how they show us because they're so confident.
the
elite,
bankers.
they are so confident in knowing that we're such fools. Like they'll never know. Like, and I think they make these movies, and I think a lot of them there's truth to them. You know.
So what do you think it is? What are they trying to
It's
do?
their agenda.
And which is?
I think they want a utopian world, bro. Where it's
But
a
at that
bunch
point,
of,
don't they already have it? If
no,
they're in
because
control of
I
it?
think they have like a certain I don't know if it's like if they're satanic or what it is that they are, but they believe in something and they just want them here and none of us. So
their agenda is to get
Kill
rid
us
of us all
all.
off.
Oh yeah, I
But
mean
they're playing a
dude,
long
why do
game.
you
Like,
I
why
mean,
haven't they done that yet?
I mean, why do you think they're trying to ban guns?
What if they're-
why do you think like our cancer rate is at its highest? Why do you? I mean, I think they are, man.
Yeah, but don't you think that that's not all? Like, I think cancer rate a lot of times could be at its highest because that's a whole other conversation about the pharmaceutical industry, and I think like driven by money and all that.
True.
Which I think could be also a niche market within a array of a lot. But do you think that that's all still controlled by the elite? Is what you're getting at?
I mean, maybe Big Pharma's part of the elite. I don't know. I think of like
I
Dr.
wouldn't be
Sebi,
surprised.
and Dr. Sebi.
Who's Dr. Sebi?
He was like a holistic doctor. So like when Nipsey died, for instance, a couple months ago, or like 2 months ago,
Yeah.
he was doing a documentary on Dr. Sebi, and Dr. Sebi claimed to.
Are you about to get like an X on my forehead right now? Like somebody's going to come and shoot me because of what we're talking about?
Maybe.
The elite bankers are listening to this conversation.
So
Give me
Dr. Sebi
get sniped right through the window.
Yeah, we gotta close those blinds. Dr. Sebi, he did he like claimed to cure people with AIDS, like all these like really, really bad diseases, right? And he would like he has a you can go and look up his information. It would be like fasting for days, it would be certain vitamins you're taking, all this stuff, right? And he claimed to have done it to like 70 people. Well, then he got arrested for it. Like, oh, you can't claim that you're practicing like this medical thing, blah, blah, blah. That's not true. So he fought it in court and showed that he did. I think it was like with 7 or 13 people, I think, in court or something like that. He had showed that he cured the AIDS for without medicine. And then a couple months later, he was dead.
Really?
He was killed, yeah. And then I think there was a lady who tried doing a documentary on him. She then died. And then Nipsey, that's crazy too, man.
Yeah. I definitely think that I mean, I don't know. If you
because you're short, you're short stopping someone's hustle. You think of like, drug dealers, for instance, like if some dude's selling something on a corner and another guy, that's his corner or whatever, and it's over a couple $100 he's going to kill you over. Right. Imagine what Big Pharma's going to do if you're taking billions, like.
Well, it's for sure power and money, and you can't look at pharmaceutical industry, and I get it. I think that there are some people that technology helps, but it's like anything used for the wrong purpose or motive, it can become harmful. And
water. Yeah. Too much water will kill you.
We overprescribe. I mean, that's a whole other conversation, but there's no doubt that it is what keeps people, I guess, shored up in their own ways of thinking to think that this is it. And the problem with that is because it comes from a doctor, then it's okay.
Exactly. See, and that's where I look into like psychedelics, for instance, like DMT. You'll see a lot of people talk about DMT and like why it's illegal or whatever. But I hear so many people will have these great stories after using it that they're not addicted to cocaine. They're not addicted to nicotine anymore. All these crazy things. Like, why would the government make it illegal if they could just make a facility where, hey, everyone's monitored. You can do it here and this amount per year or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you're getting these, it's helping like people with PTSD that come back from the military and stuff. Like, you know, people have got rid of their PTSD from having that spiritual awakening from a drug like that, you know. And I think it's weird that the government blocks that out from us. Like, why? Just why? Why can't I choose what goes into my body if I'm not harming someone? Like, why can't someone smoke weed, or why can't, like, why do you care if someone's stoned? I think more people need to probably be stoned than not be stoned, you know? Like, I get these people I'll see at the gym, and I'm like, bro, you are too, like, just
too tense,
chill.
like, chill out,
yeah,
bruh.
chill, exactly.
I
like,
think that there's a thing in society that we fear things that we don't understand, especially when society has placed stigma upon them. So I think that that is the journey of every. Again, you talk about the evolution of humanity. We are not the same community as the one our parents grew up in. We are not the same community as their parents grew up in. There is evolution. Evolution is more than to me, when I talk about evolution, I'm not talking about just monkeys rubbing their tails off. I'm talking about human. We evolve, like our society evolves, and I think that there has to be a willingness to consider, you know, new ways of doing things and new ways of thought.
but do you think as a society we're in like a really weird place right now? Because I feel like we are.
In what way?
I just feel like with everything, like this whole like just everyone, like you said earlier, everyone feels that their opinion is, that's how everyone needs to think. Like whether you think of Trump a certain way, whether you think of gay marriage a certain way, whether you think of if smoking weed's okay or not, like whatever it is, like there's these like weird pushes going on right now where it's like, I don't know, it's odd to me, man. Like it's
I think
super...
it's odd, but I do think that's part of. I mean, that's part of the human race. I think that there's always been hot topic items and hot things that,
and it's whatever gets hits.
Well, I think it is, and I think that every generation stewards a stigma. So I think that there's. I mean, you look at alcohol, for example, today. It's acceptable, and you can go buy it at the liquor store. Well, it hasn't always been that way. I mean, you go back to Prohibition and things like that. There was a stigma to the type of people that did those things. Well, there's not that now. Go to wine country and spend a weekend with your friends and go wine tasting, and it's like completely acceptable. And
yeah, I think the same is happening with weed. For instance, you think of know, I remember being a kid, like that was. Like it was not, like it wasn't known. I feel like so many times you meet people now and they're like, "Oh, do you smoke? You smoke? You smoke? You smoke?"
Yeah.
Like everyone does or whatever, right? And like back then it was never like that. No one talked about it like that, you know. And so I think that goes along with.
I think that you have to just be willing to consider all the inroads and outroads, and like anything, there are going to be, I guess, ditches on either side of the road that can be destructive. But I feel like that's with everything, and I think that even with the with cannabis as point for conversation, people can hold and I'm passionate about this. People can hold whatever opinion they want about recreational use, and I think that you can decide what you feel is right for you or what you have your convictions about, and it's important for you to own those. But what you also have to, I think, open up for the sake of education and realize there are things in the pharmaceutical company that are killing people and destroying people. And I think that, with cannabis, there's been a lot of people that have been able to be saved from a lot of different things and not have the internal effects. I think about my grandfather who was at the end of his life, and he just the anxiety and things that he was dealing with as a result of a stroke that he had, and so they put him on all of these prescription medications. I mean, and you get so many in your system, your organs can't.
They can't handle it.
I was kind of a proponent of. I feel like there has to be natural ways or ways to aside from this thing that everybody, again, and what I'm driving up against is what everybody thinks is okay because a doctor said so, and then to realize that even I think the cannabis conversation is one that has so much stigma. I mean, even people listening to this now, you're going to have people on either side of the fence. But my thing is asking questions and learning. I know you go and ask a pharmaceutical doctor about cannabis, and they will be like, honestly, know nothing about it. Like it's not even like a pro or against. We know pharmaceutical drugs, and that's what we know. And because we don't know anything else, we're going to stick with pharmaceutical drugs.
And that's I think that's a super important thing, because even in the bodybuilding realm, like with steroids being a thing, and people don't realize, but performance enhancing drugs are in every sport. In bodybuilding, it's known because you see it.
Right.
But just because these professional basketball players or football players don't look a certain way, you don't think for millions of dollars on the line they're not taking things to enhance how they perform. They definitely are.
Right.
You know, and I'm not saying all of them.
No, but it's like what is too far in performance enhancement? You know what I mean? Because performance enhancement is performance enhancement. Like anything that is enhancing your performance, right?
Exactly. It's still there, right? Yeah. But with doctors, for instance, if you go to your doctor and say, "Hey, I'm taking these performance enhancing drugs," they probably don't even know what they are. Like they're not even. It's very hard to find a doctor that's educated on that. Most of them are going to say, "Stop, just stop." Versus, you know what? If you're going to do this, this is how we're going to do it the right way. Because people forget that steroids, for instance, were brought to America for our Olympic team. You know,
That's true.
Yeah, they made the Russians were using testosterone. This was back in like I think the 70s or 60s.
Always the Russians, dude.
And so they made Dianabol. It was the hormone that we use, that our scientists and everything made, and they gave it to our hockey team to compete with them. A lot of people don't know steroids were legal until 1994 or 6 is when the Steroid Act happened. Like that's why there's videos of Arnold on ESPN. Like, yeah, I take them, because to them it was like us saying we take supplements.
So it was like
it was a normal thing.
It was in essence a supplement for them.
And then what's crazy is if you pull up like the medical data of them, you hear these things of, oh, well, doesn't it your liver will fail, you're this, you're that. The dosages that doctors were even studying on say like a cancer patient, right, with a muscle wasting disease, were like 5 times the amount bodybuilders or athletes are using.
Really?
So to me, that's a crazy thing too. And I think, like you said, going back to talking about cannabis and talking to your doctor, it's a very like, they just don't know. They're not knowledgeable on that stuff.
And that's why I think it's the evolution. I think that I think that there's 2 sides of it. So I think it's important to not jump on bandwagons, right? Because everybody's doing it. This is the new wave, and this is what should be. Because I think that can be as equally as destructive. But I think it is important to. Don't be so insecure in your own beliefs that you can't ask questions. Don't be so insecure in the things that you hold so close to you that you can't learn something new or actually evaluate, hey, could this be better? Could this be helpful? Or what place does this have in our world? And knowing that, again, and it's tough for people to hear, but you got to go back and look at how life has evolved from the 20s to the 30s to the 40s to the 50s to 60s all the way into 2000s. We are not the same, and we are not staying the same.
Isn't that trippy to think about too? Like the 20s, to now, like how different it is. And that's only 100 years, dude. Like we're nothing. Like Earth has been here for so long, and like that's only 100 years.
Yeah.
Like imagine 100 years from now,
right.
If humanity's still here, bro, I think AI might have taken over at that point, and we might be a pet, bro.
We might be just living on a television, like we might be the pet of the bankers, laying on the bankers' faces in the. Could you imagine?
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh gosh,
that's crazy.
But honestly, I think that that's to me that's the importance of. Everyone needs to have their own convictions. I think it's really, really important, whether it be in faith or politics or whatever. Like I think it's important to have an opinion because I think that through conversation, that's what helps move the ball forward. But I think that there's this other side of the coin where you have to be really willing to consider and to reconsider and to have conversation for the sake of productivity, not just for the sake of like being right.
Yeah, because you could have, if I sat here and said, I don't know if Earth's round. You can be like, dude, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Earth is round. You know? But like, instead you're going to be like, well, what makes you think that? Or why don't you believe it?
Yeah.
Like, even if you agree or you don't agree, like, at least you're asking, and it's like, hey, maybe I put out my opinion, I tell you boom, 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 and you're like, I'm still not buying it.
Yeah.
And okay, it is what it is, But I think it's important to have that and to have opinion, but to be okay with your opinion. It's an opinion. That's all it is.
It's an opinion.
It's not, you're not right, you're not wrong. You're just, that's your opinion, and everyone is entitled to their own.
When you think about even with politics, people that choose a political party, the reality is they don't really know, like most people don't know more than like 2 topics within their political party that they're passionate about. Like they don't know the ins and outs of that.
Not at all.
To me, it just shows we possess this. Well, I am a Democrat, or I am a Republican, or I am an independent.
Grasp something.
Yeah,
that's what I am.
But because I am that, you come at me and you're this and I'm that. Well, I'm going to let you know why. But it's like, dude, like, have you even like listened
to
or
what you're
thought
saying?
or like considered why you believe what you believe? Like, do you really? I just feel like that's to me that is the. That is how we have become robotic, where we just are existing, and not stopping to evaluate. Let's dig in on this. Let's figure if this.
Yeah, and not just like I said, like with politics, not just trusting what you see on TV. Like if you want to have an opinion on your political party or who you want to be president or whatever, do research, do lots of research, and look into it and form your own reason, your own opinion why you chose whatever side or you voted for whoever. Like, don't just because you see something on the news, that people don't realize that's all put out there for a reason. It's all it's what's the word I'm looking for?
What?
Not like influence, but like
controlling the narrative or what?
Yeah, like controlling the narrative,
propaganda?
I guess. Yeah, propaganda. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, that's all it is, So I mean, you just form your own opinion and educate yourself. I tell everyone with whatever it is in life that they're looking at, don't just because you tell me, hey, 1 + 1 = 2, like don't just believe that, like figure out why or formulate your own reason why and then move on. Like don't be so naive to just believe, because so many people are just, they don't know what they're talking about. I'll talk to people about business and they'll come to me, and I'm not saying I know anything about business, but they'll come to me and they'll just start spitting out all these numbers and I'm like, but what do you have to show for that? Like, what's your company grossed? What have you done? What have how have you branched off? And there's nothing, but they have all the information, but they haven't done it. That doesn't make sense to me. If you have all the information, then you've done it, or you've done it, and that's how you have the information. It's that simple. It's like anything else.
To me, be willing to hear somebody out, but don't let that be the end of the world if you disagree. Be willing to be heard, but don't let that be the end of the world if they're not willing to listen. Yeah. And at the end of the day, you got to remember that you are still responsible for your life, and so whatever your personal convictions would be, keep those. Yeah. And don't try to project those on other people, and don't allow other people to project theirs onto you. But don't let it to be a space for division. Yeah. We're just different,
And that's okay. That's what we're supposed to be,
To me, I think that there's more at play. I think that our differences are what make us stronger. I think that sometimes when we're too much alike, it actually makes us weaker. It's like if I'm a doctor, bodybuilder, musician, and I need and some plumbing goes wrong in my house, I don't need a bodybuilder. I need a plumber, dude. Yeah. You know what I mean? I need somebody. I need somebody who's different than me. I can't call somebody who's the same as me. No. So it's like, to me, that's a picture of like our differences make us better. Yeah. And if we could see that way, you think what? Yeah. Well, you're crazy. Okay. Well, I still think that our differences actually in the long run can make us stronger if we'll learn to have respect for them 100%. And realize, man, we're all just, even the people that have, the greatest sense of conviction about what they believe, we're all still on this ride, trying to figure it out and
figure out what we're doing. Yeah.
Doing our best. So, hey, did you get that video that I told you to get like an hour ago? Dude, have you seen the, you know who the Nelk Boys are? Do you know, what about the Vitaly when he does like, do you even lift, bro? You ever seen that?
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
So, these are the grunters. Let's see if this is funny.
There we go. Rep for rep, baby. Rep for rep.
Rep for rep, baby. My thing when I watch these videos, I feel like I'd be like, you guys are clearly doing something stupid.
You're trolling. You're
trolling.
Yeah,
Look at the guy's face.
The scary part is the guys not trolling that are really just doing that,
And that's
like, let's break this down. What do people think they're getting out of doing that? Like, do you think like, oh, look, I think it's like they think they're more intense. Like the louder I am and the more mad I am and the harder I chuck this weight at the ground, I'm intense and I look buff and I am buff. Like, is that what it is, bro? Because I've always just been like, I'm going to scare people. Like, there's an old lady next to me. She's going to be like, what is going on here? Like,
there's people I think that do it for attention, and then people that like just have their headphones in and don't realize how loud they are. Because sometimes I've done that and been like, that was loud. You need to,
everyone's
you need
looking
to cool
at you.
it, dude. Like, you're deadlifting.
That's the worst. I think worse than that is like doing something in the gym and knowing someone just saw you do it, and it was like if you fall on something or something smacks you in the head. Like I remember one of the first times I went to GB3, I had the big old lat pull down bar on the cable, right? and I pulled the pin out and it came out and smacked the back of my head, bro. And that thing was heavy. Like, and I mean, think about it. Like, okay, you pull it out, it's a 10-pound weight. The bar is probably heavier than that. And I'm like, oh, and I'm like sitting there. Or I had I fell one time on the Smith machine. I was squatting. It was a bunch of weight, bro. It was like 365, right? Not a bunch of weight, but it's a lot, right? Yeah. On each side, this was at cedar and knees. And I come up on my last rep, and like right when I lock out, I go to rack it, but I miss the rack, bro. But I give out with my legs, and the weight rips me back, bro. And I come back, and it's just like boom, it smacks around. The Smith machine completely breaks. Everyone comes running over. I feel stupid, bro. I'm like,
that's the worst. When that happens, there was a guy the other day. I was at the gym, and he was bench pressing, and he went to rack it. And he missed the rack on one side, so all of his weight just fell off. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. Do I run over there and help him, or just like act like I didn't see? Because I feel like part of me is like, he's clearly embarrassed. Like, dude's red as a tomato, you know? And it's
I mean, I think you help to a certain, because I've seen people do dumb stuff too, where I'm like, bro, you were gonna hurt me and you at the same time. Like, I had a guy, and I was on a Smith machine doing like incline bench, and he was on the next one, and I don't know what he was doing, but he had those little platform things, right? Yeah. He had like 3 of them stacked on each other, and he had to have had like 5 plates on each side of the rack, bro. Just a normal old looking dude, and he like unracks it. He's standing on that all the way to the top, unracks it, and I don't know what happens, bro, because I was moving weight. All of a sudden, it comes flying down just like mine did, and the plate like literally was probably an inch from hitting my foot. And I was like, bro, you know how pissed I would have been if you broke my foot? Like, because I've dropped a 2.5 pound plate on my foot, and that's like
game over.
Brutal. A 45 pound plate with that much velocity, like, that's not.
Why do some people though do things that like it's not necessary? Like, there's certain workout movements, like, dude, you could work that muscle so many different ways,
so
bro.
And so
like,
much more effective.
Why are we doing it like this?
It's very like, I always see or like the sideways like chest press one. I'm like, bro, that's not what it's made for. Like, just you really don't need to be doing that unless you're very.
But I feel it.
Like,
feel it.
I mean,
it works. Like, they always have an excuse for what it works.
I think it's just so like, or like they're doing like an upside down curl. I'm like, bro, that doesn't make it any more effective. Like, just do the move. People try to reinvent the wheel. I think there's a lot of bad trainers out there too that teach these things, because what separates you from me? Well, I have all these cool exercises. Yeah. Oh, I don't see those. They must work. Like, I think it's just basic thinking, when it's like, no, man, like, this is the stuff that works. Like, stick to it, progress in it, and you're going to get results.
Like, too, like, isn't it like the place? Like, if you go to like a standard like powerlifting box gym, like, it's fully acceptable to like drop your bar and like slam your bar and
have your shirt off.
But you go to like GB3, it's like, not here, dude. No, like, you know what I mean? Like, don't be. I feel like you got to know your space. Like, know where you're working out.
No, it's a health club. Like, respect that. Like, it's not. You'll never hear me grunt or something like that. It's just different environments, man. You're in a completely different environment. Like, it's bizarre to me. Like, how do you not recognize, like, when you're yelling that much? Like, people are not like, ooh, that's like, bro, if you're squatting that much weight, people are just gonna look and be like, dang, that is a lot of weight. But you grunty people, I'm like, dude, that isn't just annoying. Like, you know, especially when it's not with heavy weight. It's like, I don't know, man. I think it's an attention thing, or just a lack of awareness.
You know what? It's entertainment to me. I am always entertained.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like, because then you make eye contact with other people that are listening, and everyone's just like, bro, is this really happening right now? This is really happening, you know?
Sometimes the people, though, it's like they don't even know. They don't even know. Like, some people just don't even. Like, you just don't know.
They're clueless,
You just don't get it, do you?
They're like, they're in their zone, I guess, bro, and they're a beast, you know, so you have to let them do their thing. I don't know. It's you'll see the people, you know, hit their weights or whatever, and just chuck them, or like they're doing the cable flies and just let go. Like, can you set it down like gently? Like, you don't have to just let go. Like, it's gonna smack, and eventually it's gonna break. You know, like, it's. I don't know. Once again, I think it's an intensity thing. Like, I think guys think like, oh, the like, more hardcore I am, like, I'm more intense or something. Like, that doesn't do anything for you.
Do you think that bodybuilding style workout is the only workout, like, to look good?
No way. No.
You think that there's other?
No, I think the reason why bodybuilders look like bodybuilders is, the training, it's more hypertrophy type training. But it's the nutrition, man. Like, I think if you're a power lifter, for instance, if you know how to gauge your volume and your frequency, your rest, all that, like, you can build a good physique. I think it's just going to be different. Like, yes, with bodybuilding, you can probably build the best physique, right? But you're not going to be the most functional. Like, I'm not functional at all, man. I can't. If you asked me to go play basketball right now, like, you would run me on the court, you know, like it would be bad. But, you know, if you're into CrossFit or Olympic lifting, powerlifting, calisthenics even, I think you can still build a really good physique by average standards, you know, not a good bodybuilding physique, but if you're just trying to build a good physique, most of that's nutrition anyways, because the leaner you are, just the better you're going to look, you know. But obviously if every day I'm going to the gym with hypertrophy, you know, that's what my training program is geared towards, then I'm going to, you know, obviously build a different look because that's what I'm going for. But if you're going because you want to bench 405, so you're, you know, working towards that and structuring your training program towards benching that, you're not going to build the best physique, but you're still building muscle. Right. As long as you get leaner, you're going to look better, you know? Yeah. So it's just a lot of powerlifters are usually heavier because they need more weight to be stronger.
It's tough too because, like, you know, there's the conversation of, you know, should you practice fitness to look better or to feel better? And I feel like feel better, you'd say, but there's also like a space where it's like you don't feel better until you get to the place where you can like maintain or get to a place where you can actually feel better.
Because that's never, bro.
But there's something like there's been times where my diet's been super killer, like right, like if I'm eating the right things that have not just like my caloric intake, but like my actual nutrition, right? Like
the quality of
food, like the fruits and the vegetables and things that have actual. I feel like there's been times when I've been really on that, and I feel like so alive.
You feel
like,
better,
dude. Like recently, like probably 6 months ago, I was doing some of that, and it was part of cleanse. But I was like, I didn't know it was possible to feel this good. But then like right now, I'm trying to lose some fat and stuff and kind of really shape up. So I've been doing more like macro stuff and like you know, dieting like that. Well, it's not necessary. I'm not necessarily getting all that same nutrition. But there's almost like a pain in it, even though there's results. You know what I mean?
And that's where, I mean, with anything else in life, I think lifting there's fads. And I think the if it fits your macros or whatever was like a huge fad when I first got into lifting, and everyone's like, oh, eating clean, stupid. Like you gotta, if you hit your macros, you're good. And I was like, okay.
But there's a balance, right? Because macros no doubt works. Like, I mean,
it's basic thermodynamics, right? But I think for bodybuilding purposes, no. Because I mean, say you take two twins, right? Say we have two of you right here, okay, and your macros are, let's just say, to diet down for a show, are 200 grams of carbs, 200 grams of protein, and 60 grams of fat, right? And say twin one is eating, you know, chicken, rice, almonds, greens, you know, all good foods. That's what their meals are, you know, have in them every single day. And the other person's doing protein powder, hot Cheetos, and butter.
Yeah.
Is that person going to perform as good? Is that person? I don't think they correlate 100%. I think, yes, it's okay to swap some things out here and there, especially if you're not into like the competitive side, because you're not going for that like best look. You're just trying to look really, really good, you know, which you can do with that. Because even for me, like if I'm trying to lose weight or whatever, and all day I'm busy and I'm not able to get meals in or whatever, if I want to have some cookies at night or whatever, I'm going to do it because I know, okay, I've only had 1,000 calories today. I'm not going to get fat off eating 5 cookies right now. Yeah. Like that's just not how the body works. So,
and some of that necessary though, for the sake of getting, cause like, I don't know, like you see somebody that maybe like, may have a lot of body fat, right? And they're trying to get to a certain place before they like maintain. Like, no doubt, more of a drastic diet is going to get you there faster, right?
Yes, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's better. Because I think, you know,
you might be better off playing the long game and just
because I think what's best and what people don't. People are always like, oh, let me do keto. I can lose all this weight. Okay, but are you going to stick to that keto diet for the rest of your life? No.
It's impossible.
Stop thinking of it as a diet. Think of it as a lifestyle change. I think macros are the easiest way to make a lifestyle change because you then just become more aware. Like, okay, you know what? I weigh this right now.
You know what you're eating.
I can maintain this on 2,500 calories a day. So you might not be hitting that every day. You might be a little under, a little over, but you're able to fit things into there. So you're able to maintain that. I think that's what's good about it. But as far as for bodybuilding, it's not practical because you need to time your meals before your training, after, just to enhance your performance, because the better your performance, the more muscle you're going to build, the more fat you can possibly burn. So I think that's when those factors come into play. But if you're just, a regular person who wants to be in good shape, you don't focus on the little things, focus on the few big things and build off of that.
Do you think some of it for me, that I see in people, maybe I can just speak for myself, I find that I know that diets, they produce results, but not long-term results because you can't maintain them for a while, forever.
Very few people.
And there's no fun in that. Like there's no fun in life when you're just when you're doing that all the time. So you know that, but at the same time, like there's a part of me that is challenge driven. So like give me restriction and tell me to do that for 6 months or, 3 months. My mind locks into that as a challenge.
Like, let's do it.
Yeah, almost like to produce. Where if it's just,
and I think that's a good thing.
Where if you're just to say, oh, just make it a lifestyle. I need something pushing me. You know what I mean? And maybe it's just figuring out what that is.
No, I think that's good as long as you're not like blowing back up. Like say, okay, you know what? I'm going to force myself to do keto for 12 weeks. I'm not having any carbs. I'm going to lose 20 pounds. And you do it. Okay, great. But now look at it as, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore, but I still want to maintain most of this weight that I've lost. Yeah. How can I do that? You know, and that's where a lifestyle thing comes into play. Because, bro, it is not fun. Like dieting down for a show. Like I don't care what anyone says. It is miserable. Like I've done it. And a lot of people ask me now, like about competing and stuff. And the place that I'm at in life right now, like, living with, my girl and dude, we went on trips to Disneyland and I was dieting, bro. Yeah. Like, how miserable that is? Like having prepped meals, like, bro, I'm all about quality of life, man. I'm not, to me, competing is not that big of a deal right now. Like if I need to do it because, hey, it's going to elevate my business to the next step, then that's my motivation to do it. And that's why I'm going to do it. But not because, oh, let me go win a first place trophy. Like I don't care, man. If you don't think I look good, I'm not offended by that. Right. I'm doing this for me and I want to build my own physique and see what I can do, because there's always going to be someone that looks better than you. There's always going to be someone more shredded. There's always going to be someone bigger, stronger, faster, whatever. Why are you going to compare yourself to these other people? It's within you. It's what you're building.
How are you drawing the line between then quality of life and a life of like discipline? Like people can say, well, I don't work out because I just like eating all the time, or I like eating anything that I want because it's about the quality of life. How do you draw those lines? Because there's certain times
because I live the lifestyle, I think.
But I mean, for like, where do you think most people, I guess, maybe should draw those lines? Because you see people that, there's no doubt that, people don't take their health seriously, right? And that's like
that should be very important.
And it should be important because you're not whether it be to be there for your family or your kids or your future, to be able to actually do the things that you want to do. Health is like a vitally important part of that. Mm-hmm. So there is this tension between food is a huge way that we enjoy life, right? With people, like,
it's such a social thing now. Like, oh, let's just go out to eat. Let's go.
And it's no fun to take your meal prep to someone's house. Like I've done that, and it's like that's lame.
Man, that's a hard one. I think it's just knowing what it is that you want in life. Because I know for me, for instance, like 90% of the time, I love. I don't mind eating chicken and rice, ground beef and rice, steak and potatoes, oatmeal and eggs. Like I said, I truly enjoy this. And I think it's because I've done it so young that it's all I know. Like it's normal to me to eat 6 times a day. Like people look at me like, bro, that's so weird. Like I don't even eat in the morning. I have a snack and then I have dinner and that's all I eat. I might snack on something before bed. Like that's normal to them. But to me, this has become so normal. So I think for everyday people that are trying to find that balance, I think it's the calories, man. Focus on your caloric intake, because let's be real, like the most overweight people, to lose weight is not hard. Right. Like for instance, when I got injured, this was 5 weeks ago from this past Wednesday, so a little over 5 weeks, I was 211 pounds in the morning. I'm 191 right now. So I've dropped 20 pounds in 5 weeks, and mind you, that's with a lot less exercise. I'm only able to train legs intense. I'm able to do cardio. And then I was training just one half of my body to, still stimulate something and just to keep my mind like motivated. So like, hey, I'm not going to just slack. And then when I have to come back, be like super not driven. I wasn't going to do that to myself. And now because it is healing, I'm able to do some things with this side of my body and everything. But that's 20 pounds. And I would say I'm in relatively decent shape. So it's like for someone overweight to drop 30, 40 pounds, it's not that hard. Like just don't. you can't make excuses. Like every day, you know, I've been telling my girl, like, because she's pregnant, she's craving things. So it's like, hey, let's go to McDonald's, let's do this. So I just figure out for me, hey, I'm not really that hungry in the morning, so I'm just not going to eat too much early in the day. I'll go to work, maybe have a protein shake. I'll try and keep my calories low early in the day because I know at night is when, we're going to watch a show. Oh, I'm trying to eat something versus, you know what I mean? I just kind of fit that in. You know, it's really just knowing you and you know, trying to work around that and then just having some type of discipline. You know, you're not always going to be perfect. I
wish, though, like even when we were talking about earlier, I wish that even with our educational system, we would teach more people on this stuff, because to me, like, that's half the challenge for me even now, is just like learning. Like, there's so much you really, like, it's different. It's not just learning your food groups, but knowing like how that all works with like your body, with your body and your metabolism.
Nobody knows
what your calories like should be, what calories are in what, how that changes if you use certain spices or sauces or whatever. Like,
that should be taught in school, man. Like it's your health. Like, I don't know why.
Well, it's more in your life than most other things.
Yeah, the basic principles. But, you know, I think it's up to us to realize that being in America, that we are an obese country. You go to any other country, like my sister has traveled to Spain, Germany, all these places, and she always tells me when she comes back, like, you know, you buy something and like the portion size is so small, and you know, if you buy a soda, there's no free refills. Like, we're so accustomed to these things here where everything's just, oh, it's 20 more cents for a large. Yeah, just do a large. And then free refills. Like, we're so accustomed to that. And it's just kind of getting out of those bad habits and creating new ones. You know, like for me, I don't drink any regular soda. I drank soda all growing up. And then I didn't drink soda for a while. And then when I started prepping for my first show, I remember like having cravings. And I think my coach at the time had told me like, oh, it's okay to have diet soda. There's no calories in it. So I started doing that. Well, I've turned it on to so many people in my family. And just from making that one switch alone, because if you're drinking 2 Pepsis a day or something, like, you're getting probably at least 400 or 500 calories, if not more, from that. So you switching that to diet, that might be creating your deficit right there.
So how does that really work, though? Like, when something says no calories, but I mean, it has stuff in it.
It has under 5. So as long as it's under 5 calories, legally they can.
But what else is in it? Like, is all the other stuff okay for you? Like, I always think about that even when I see certain energy drinks, right? Like,
I mean, bro, I drink a lot of diet soda. Like, if anyone were to die, it would probably be me.
And it doesn't, you don't, like, it obviously doesn't affect like your fat storage or any of that.
No, because of thermodynamics. Basic dynamics are, you know, the only way to gain weight is if you eat more calories than you burn. The only way to lose weight is if you burn more calories than you take in.
That's the basics.
That's energy. Calories are energy. That's all they are. So that's the basis. If there's no calories in it, or one or whatever, the thing is most people, to maintain their weight, need a couple thousand. So you drinking 2-3 diet sodas, even if at most that's 10 calories, it's not going to throw off your weight loss. You know?
What about like the study? Is it true? Like what is the, you know how they used to say like sweet and low causes cancer and all those kinds of like,
I think everything causes cancer.
Who really knows these days?
Mm-hmm. I think causation and correlation are a big thing. I think they do some of these studies and it's like, yes, if you're overweight and you have all these health issues and you're drinking diet soda, like those issues are probably just there because you're overweight.
Yeah.
Like, same thing with sugar. Like, they made sugar the enemy, right? Not knowing that carbs are sugar. That's all carbs are. You take in carbs, your body turns it into glucose, which is sugar, and uses it as energy. So me taking in a Sour Patch Kid versus a strawberry versus oatmeal, they're all carbs. That's all they are. It's just they classify it as 2 different things, right? Or, you know, the strawberry that has sugar in it. Like, it's all sugar still once the body processes it, you know?
So, but you couldn't eat, I mean, Sour Patch Kids, strawberry is going to be better for you, right?
Micronutrient-wise, yes. But if you're not overweight, I don't think it's going to have, like, a health repercussion for it.
Just nutrient-wise.
You would be surprised, man, if you just are not overweight, like, the amount of, like, problems you save your body from. Like, the reason why we have so many problems is because we're overweight. So it's really working on that and getting that under control. And then we're obviously don't eat, if you're eating Sour Patch Kids every day and that's your carb source, like, yeah, you're going to have issues. But me drinking diet soda, for instance, and the stuff that goes into it, there's studies done on all those things. Like, for instance, aspartame is one of the big artificial sweeteners. The amount of diet soda you would have to drink to like harm yourself with that, it's like 48 liters or something. Like, it's a crazy amount that in like an hour, like, you're going to die of water intake before you even get that much aspartame in your system.
But that's what you're saying, causation versus correlation. being you may isolate one thing as a cause, but there's also a correlation of what about all the other things that person in your life or is taking in, because somebody who may have diet soda or aspartame, the chances are that type of person with those types of lack of disciplines or behaviors, there's probably other things in their life that could be causing this. It just happens to be that this is a common thread. And the people that were a part of the, I don't know what the group that
the study wasn't controlled. It wasn't controlled. Exactly. Like these people weren't following.
But that's what that concept is, right?
Exactly.
There's other things.
So I think, I tell people to each their own. If you don't want to drink, if you don't drink soda at all in general, good. Stay with water. But I know for me, I like diet soda. That's what I do. And,
That's what I do. It's who I am. Do you
accept me for me?
Let me do me. You do you. Are you a big guy on, like, people talk about listen to your body? Is that something for you? Or are you the kind of guy that don't listen to your body and tell your body to...
I mean, I think people lie to themselves. They're like, oh, my body says I need pizza. Because I know my body's saying that every day. But I think that's more my mind and my taste buds. But no, I think you have to be instinctive and know, if... It's hard, though, to be instinctive, man, because, like, I feel like I've been doing this for a while, and it's still hard for me to know, like, when to eat more or not eat more, because your brain plays tricks on you, especially when you get really lean, because that's why, all these bodybuilders have coaches, because it's easier said than done. You can get down to 8%, but then getting under that body fat-wise, your brain's playing tricks. Oh, you need more carbs. Yeah, you're flat.
Well, dude, that's the hard thing I see even in, like, older people. Like, I saw this in my grandfather before he passed away, and then I see it in my grandma now. Like, they think, well, we don't, if we're overweight or we're fat, well, let's just eat less, and they'll have, like, a little bit of soup every day, and then that's it, all they eat. And
that's
it's like,
terrible.
It's that backwards thinking of, like, even talking about, like the 6 meals a day thing or doing things to fire up your metabolism. What's weird is, I remember when I went on a thing when I was doing like 6 meals a day, and I was off of that before. When I started doing it, I almost, in my mind, I'm like, I'm getting fatter. Like, there's no way like this could be working because I'm taking in so much, and I was working out a lot. But it was my mind, and the more I stuck with the program and stuck with it, you start seeing the results. And I think that's the thing for a lot of people.
They just don't stick with it.
You can't just go with. Like you talk about, you have to use your intuition, but there's also this part of, I think, like education too, like to know that diet is not as simple as don't eat, you get skinny, because you can don't eat and eat 1 meal a day and actually gain more weight.
Exactly. And not only that, like differentiate weight loss and fat loss. Like we want fat loss. We don't want weight loss. We can all drop water weight, intestinal weight, food that's still not digested in our stomach, things like that, but we want to lose fat. We don't want to lose muscle. Like, you want those things on you. So don't, like, I know my mom had told me a while back, she'll go on these like diets, and she was like, yeah, we're doing the 500 calorie a day diet where Monday through Friday you only eat 500 calories a day, which is nothing, and then Saturday and Sunday you eat whatever you want. And I'm like, that's creating such a bad relationship with food at that point. Like, people have this weird thing of like, because I used to be the same way. I would eat one Oreo and my diet's messed up, I gotta eat the whole thing. And it's like you can't think like that. Like, it's okay to do that. It's not gonna throw off your progress, because what is gonna throw off your progress is then you eating the whole thing, and then you going and getting in and out, and then you know what I mean. Like, it's that, and then also everyone's body is so person to person, man. Like, I know certain people where they can. The way they eat, I'm like, bro, how do you stay that shredded? And they're like, I eat like this, and like it works for them. But I know for me, that's not gonna work. So it's
boring.
Yeah. No, I know some people, bro. They can eat like just crazy. Like they can eat 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day and still maintain abs and be good.
Oh, and still look good no matter what.
Yeah, like I mean, when I was up to 211, I had a bet with my partner at the time, and I was trying to get up to 220. He was trying to get down to 220. And I mean, I was 211 in the morning, and I still had abs, but I was not like lean. Like, I wasn't comfortable. Like, oh, I'm gonna just take my shirt off whenever, And I was probably eating. I mean, I was eating like a Ben and Jerry's every single night. Like, that's how like it gets hard, bro, to eat that much food. Like, you're like literally sick of food, And so, with certain people, they might eat that same amount and they're not putting on any weight. Everyone's metabolism is different.
That's the tough part,
I know some people that can look at a burger and they get fat, like
that's me.
It's crazy. So it's knowing, I think with you asking, like being instinctive or instinctual or whatever, like that is a big thing too. It's learning your body. Like, yes, you have to follow, okay, these are my macros, or I want to eat these foods. But listen to your body. If you know you're eating 6 times a day and weight's coming off, stick to it, man. Because who am I to tell you, no, that's wrong? That's wrong.
Are there ways?
Because science says that.
Are there ways to fix or change your metabolism? Like if you're someone that has a slow metabolism, I mean, I know there's things that they say that you can do to speed it up, but is that pretty much what you're stuck with?
Pretty much.
Really?
I mean, yeah, you just, I mean, a lot of people ruin their metabolisms by a lot of these like bad diets and doing these crash diets. You'll really slow it down because your body, I tell people, your body's made to survive. It's not made to get shredded. So it is always thinking survival. So if you, for instance,
it's not thinking look good.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't. It's going to fight you on everything. Yeah. So if you're thinking, okay, you know, I want to get shredded because summer's coming up. I'm going to Vegas in 4 weeks, so I'm going to go super low calories. Your body is then going to adapt, and it's going to know, okay, we're not getting in a lot of food, so let's slow our metabolism down so we don't eat all this fat, so we can survive longer. Yeah. And that's what it does. So you then do that, you're then slowing your metabolism down. So a lot of people will reverse diet. They'll diet down to get really, really lean, and then it's hard, but they'll slowly add in calories. I'm talking like 30, 40 calories, like nothing. Yeah. So you have to be on point with everything week by week by week to where they build up their metabolism to where maybe they can then eat a couple extra 100 calories a day. But for the most part, like what you're given is what you're given. I know some dudes that can eat whatever they want and they stay shredded. Yeah. Me, I'm not that. Like I got a big appetite. Yeah. I'll definitely get fat if I do that, you know? So I don't know. You're kind of stuck with what you got. It's genetics. It comes down to genetics once again. So that's a part of it too. Like, for some people, they don't have a lot of people that like I have friends that can't gain weight and they're like, oh, this is miserable, bro. I hate eating In-N-Out every day. I hate eating Chipotle every day. I hate eating. And I'm like, what? Yeah. Like you hate your life? Like I would love.
Trade. Can we
bro.
trade?
Like can we trade?
Can we trade, dude?
But yeah, man. So
that's just the reality of it, though, and it can be tough. But are you the? I was working with a trainer one time, and he had this he would say like feed your cravings rather than like basically his principle was rather than go off the rails, like if you're really craving something like what you were saying, let yourself have it, but just don't go all out. Like have a cookie if you're craving a cookie.
I would rather you do that
rather than just saying no, I'm not. He was saying if you do that, eventually you're gonna fall off. When you fall off,
and you're gonna binge.
Yeah, it's
and,
like
and
way
I
worse.
can vouch for that, and that's why I think I stand by like diet soda, for instance, because I would much rather, and if someone's trying to lose weight, them come to me. And I tell them, hey, if you're craving something, have a diet soda versus no, still drink water. And then they end up just binging, and then they mess it all up anyways. Like, you got to give people some leniency. You're not going to be perfect. You know, I think people try and go all out for certain people, and you can't take that approach. Like, you know, before we went on air, we were talking about that team I'm doing right now. And a lot of them are younger dudes, and they're telling me like, oh yeah, bro, I eat once a day. So I'm like, okay, obviously they're 150 pounds. I know that they need to eat a lot, but I'm not just gonna throw, hey bro, for breakfast you're gonna have 6 eggs, 2 cups of oatmeal. Right. They're gonna be like, bro, what? Like, there's no way. So you slowly have to like get them used to doing that and build it up. You know, it's like anything else. So
step at a time. I didn't know. I'm still tripping on it. So if it's 0 calories, then that counts as 0 calories. So it's not
like gum, for instance, diet soda, Crystal Light. It'll say 0 or it'll have like the less than sign and 5. So, but I mean,
less than 5 isn't really.
Yeah, like Powerade 0, all that. They have Gatorade 0 now. Like I tell people, stick to that, man. Like don't do the. I mean, if you're gonna drink soda, just drink diet, because there's still chemicals and everything in regular soda,
True.
So if you're gonna not drink water and you're gonna take something like that, definitely do
Water's
diet.
Still the best though, right?
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's what our body's made of. My girlfriend tries to always argue me on it because I'm like, oh, my head hurts. She's like, drink more water. I'm like, babe, I've drank tons. She's like, no, you had 2 Diet Cokes today. I'm like, that's still water. She's like, no, it's not. It's not water. And I'm like, yes, it is. But it's fluid. Well, she'll still argue me on this. She'll probably watch this and be pissed.
But it's not like real.
It's not water, bro. Yeah. It's not water. And I know that because she's like, well, are you peeing more when you drink Diet Coke? I'm like, yeah, like I'm going all the time. Like, so my body has to excrete it some way. So it's clearly hydrating me. That's my argument, Yeah. But I'm like, it's a conspiracy theory.
Like it's the bankers, dude.
Oh, yeah, water's definitely the best, man. Drink that the most, and but anything in excess is going to be bad. So obviously, I think if you're drinking 10 Diet Cokes a day,
that's just life.
That's
like
life, man. You drink too much water, you'll die. Like, remember they had that on the radio show that one time, or it was milk or something, and they died of too much hydration or whatever. Like, same thing, with obviously, you know, you can, if you have a cookie, it's okay. But then if you're having 100 a day, you're going to get overweight. Like that's just life. That's the trade-off. So. Yeah.
You see Arnold get kicked in the back?
Dude, he got drop kicked, bro. Yeah, but did you see the other clip?
No.
So
I saw where he didn't budge.
Okay. So because there's the clip of the one of him up front, right? That was the first one I saw. And I was like,
and it looked like he got
taken out. Like this looked like WWE. And then I see the other one, and this fool like barely moves, and he's like,
yeah, I was like, what was that?
Oh, dude. And the guy was like screaming, I want a Lamborghini, or like
what?
Something crazy,
the
bro.
Guy that kicked
I think
him?
he was trying to go viral, and I don't know why he thought he'd get a Lamborghini doing that. Like, you're gonna catch a lawsuit now, bro. And Arnold's got enough money
lost your Lamborghini
chances.
chances.
Yeah, Arnold's got enough money to piss away where he's like, yeah, I'll sue this guy, whatever.
The kick?
Oh, bro, this is crazy.
He's videoing, dude. His Adidas on.
I know. He's the GOAT, though.
He really is.
Should be coming right now.
Not a care in the world, bro.
Yeah, just on his phone.
Just being Arnold, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at this. Oh, look at him. Just.
Uh,
Adam 22. Dude, I love this dude.
That just doesn't seem like a good... Look at him standing there. Look at his stance. Like,
what just happened?
What
like,
just
bro,
happened,
what
dude?
would you think if someone told you just got drop kicked?
Look at that guy. He's going to choke him out, though. Is that like his bouncer? Or is that just like a bystander? Look at him.
No, it's got to be.
Look at how he... Oh.
Why would you drop kick someone, though? Like,
why would you drop kick Arnold Schwarzenegger of all people?
Bro. Like, but what goes through
First
your
of all,
head,
the idea of a
drop kick,
both feet though in the air, right? Like not just one, like both feet, right? Both feet were in the air. Like, why would you do that?
I mean,
I get like one kick, you know what I mean? Like lift one leg up, but both legs up, dude.
He probably woke up and had a real bad
What does
day
that
to
say
think
about
of that,
you,
bro?
I'm giving Arnold
Like,
both legs to the back. That's what I'm about to do.
I mean, I don't even know how to throw a drop kick like that. Like, I think
feel
I
like
would
that-
injure myself.
That would hurt me
Yeah.
way more than it's going to hurt you.
the person. Yeah, because
Probably
Arnold
not
said he
gonna
thought
do
it was
it.
just someone that like pushed him from the crowd. Like,
That's such a beast statement.
And he's like,
I
how
don't know.
old,
I
bro?
just thought
He's
that
like-
somebody was pushing for. I thought it was just somebody in the crowd.
how old is he? He's like in his 70s.
My guess would be 70. You know how old he is?
Because I was at the Mecca, the Gold's Gym Venice, 71 years,
yeah.
Gold's Gym Venice, like, I think a month and a half, 2 months ago, and I talked to the front desk worker. He's like, oh, yeah, Arnold comes in here every morning. I'm like, bro, that's so sick. Like, this dude sees Arnold. I think he said, like, Kendrick Lamar was in there,
Really?
50 Cent, like, because that's, like, where all these people in L.A. go to train because it's, like, the bodybuilding spot, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm like, bro, you just get to see Arnold. He probably cracks jokes. Like, you know he's probably a cool dude. Like,
Yeah, you
can
tell.
just tell. And I feel like I look at him as, like, he definitely paved the way for bodybuilders. Like, he's the only one that... I mean, bro, you look up Jay Cutler, for instance,
Yeah.
and Mr. Olympia, the
Yeah.
quarterback comes up in the NFL, and he's not even a good quarterback. Like, the Mr. Olympia will not pop up. If I ask, if I'm in a room of 100 people, and I say, hey, do you know who Phil Heath is? Do you know who Sean Roden? Like,
They're
maybe one might know, bro. So you ask Arnold, everybody knows Arnold. So,
Yeah.
like, he definitely did it the right way. I just don't think... There needs to be more personality in bodybuilding. More people like him. They're funny. Like, I remember watching Pumping Iron. Like, that was sick, bro.
Yeah.
The camaraderie of those guys and
Right.
how they were with each other and everything. Like, that was cool. Like, that culture was... And now it's like everyone, oh, no, I hate on you because I'm a bodybuilder and I'm a buffer. And it's so, like, superficial.
That's it, man. And it comes back to, I mean, exactly how we started off. Like, you got to know your course and be willing to do it. I think that you miss out too on when Arnold was doing all that. He didn't know that there's going to be guys sitting at a table talking about him one day. You know what I mean? Like, he was just
That's so sick, bro.
just
It's
living
like-
the dream and going
Yeah.
after it. And I think that's stick with it.
Yeah.
And in the end, you'll be surprised what just a little bit of work every day gets you.
Yep.
Austin, thank you for stopping by.
Yes, thank you
I
for having
appreciate
me.
it.
Thank
It's been
you,
fun.
everybody.
I'm keeping an eye out for the bankers, though. I don't trust these
Oh,
bankers. and all these
don't, man.
people in
Don't
power.
trust them. Don't trust the diet soda. Don't
over.
trust the aliens.
Don't
trust your phone.
Thanks, bro.
Please don't kill me.